You're in tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show with the Prophet Kwaku on galaxyofthewe.com, the only brainwashing station in this nation. Asha Senator says so.
Akwaba itepe ineke je a senebe. Akwaba in the name of the creating force of the universe, omnipotent being that which is greater than ourselves, who has many names. Olodumare Nkulokulu Kwame Blafo Ashe Mungo Onieme Ja Jinyame Amen Ra Ashe Ashe Ashe. We give thanks and praise and say Mudubafu to the ancestors who fought the enemies of Mama Africa for the last 6 millenniums. Mudubafu to the ancestors who fought and died in the many manga musicals, sufferings, whose bones lay beneath the many seas, the many oceans, the many rivers, the many lakes, the many swamps, the many deserts, the many trees that they were lynched at, the many graves of this world. We honor and venerate them. Modubafu to the ancestors that when they were taken in captivity did not settle for being a captive, but escaped and set up their own colonies, defeated Europeans, fought them to stand still. Mudubafu Madasipa for the sacrifices. Mudubafu to my father, my brother who's moved on to the ancestors, my mother, my father, who's moved on to the ancestors, my friends who's moved on to the ancestors, my cousins, relatives, and people that I was in organizations with. We call upon the spirit of our ancestors and say, Mudubafu to Doggy. Mudubafu Mama Papa Aris. Mudubafu Sister Inkechi. Mudubafu Sibapam. Mudubafu Elder Milton. Mudubafu Papa Sally. Mudubafu Mama Bernard. Mudubafu Elder Miranda. Mudubafu Elder Ron. Mudubafu to all those ancestors who we walk this road with and are no longer with us in the physical, but we know they are around us in the spiritual. So we give thanks and praises unto that which is greater than ourselves, and to the natures derisious. Akwaba to the Nubian Foreign People's Talk Show. Tonight I have a special guest in the studio. Most of you, if not all of you, are very familiar with this particular person. I'm somebody who's been a part of the community for many, many years. And I'm going to bring him in just about 3 minutes. But before I do that, I just want to give you the numbers for the WhatsApp and the text, because I'm not taking any calls due to the interview. We'll do that, a little later. So the text number is, if you are abroad and you want to send us a text or a WhatsApp to say yes, you're tuning in, you're locking. The text number is, and WhatsApp number is +44 if you're abroad. If you drop the zero that I'm going to say now. 073 77 92 07 +44-777-9203. I repeat that. +44 if you're abroad. If you're on mainland Britain, it is 073 779 20703. I'm not taking any calls now, and when I do take calls, excuse me if I'm yawning, if I do take calls, it will not be unknown calls. We have a policy here that we don't take unknown calls, and I will not be taking any this evening. So those people who are on the not call business, we not deal with that. Reveal up yourself, because you know, see, man, I reveal up themselves on the Facebook and all them something there. So when you can reveal up on the Facebook himself, yeah, on the phone line. See? People, there's been many things. There's been many things that there's been many things. Sorry about that Facebook, but too much noise downstairs in it, and so one quite the noise. There's been many things that's been happening over the last few weeks. We know now that the Prime Minister of this country, they've come. I'm going to yarn every now and then because up from 4 o'clock this morning, been working all day, never get in till after 7, rush, boom, shower, boom, 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 re-te-te, and all them something there. See? But we know that the Prime Minister of this country has just issued another statement saying, oh, they're going to make people can see people and things like that. And, you know, I think it's diabolical how they are controlling people's lives. How they are bullying people, so to speak, and trying to make it look like the army, they bring the army for the army to assist. There's a lot of volunteers in this country, bag of them. And we don't need the army coming on the streets servicing civilians. This is what they supposedly call peacetime. But that conversation will be on another day. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in this person. He's a man who came here when he was 15 years old. And after he came here when he was 15 years old, not even a year good, him turned 16, he went into the army. And he stayed in the army until 1984 or 1982. He got a job as a radio disc jockey in King's College Hospital. And then from there, he joined Galaxy. And then Galaxy went down and Galaxy was handed over to him. He put Galaxy back on the air. And it's been on the air ever since. So we'll hear more about that story, about brothers and sisters and friends and family. Let's welcome our Chief Procombabai. There should be some round of applause in. I'm going to get one of them round of applause things there, you know, Chief.
You can get one and then you just press a button.
Yeah, I'm just press a button. You're supposed to set up them things, them, man. How you deal with?
That can be arranged, don't you worry.
Yes.
It's in the making. Right, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Chief.
Greetings, my brother.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Chief.
Yes, sir. Greetings.
I'm older man.
I can't complain. I'm a bit tired.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up since 1 o'clock this morning.
So you get up 3 hours before me?
Yes, I've been up because I had one of those driving assessment that start from 6 o'clock this morning.
See.
An hour and a half driving assessment. Then all HGV driver, all bus driver, through a European directive, you have to have a thing they call CPC.
What does CPC stand for?
You know something? They change it every time. My name nobody I come through Europe. And me came till every time them change it, call it different name. But so you have to have that. Without that you can't drive. And we had one of these Welsh, Irish, Scottish instructor. And he started from 8 o'clock this morning. Didn't finish until 5. So we sat down there and you can't sleep because if you fall asleep, it will fail you. And you have to have that behind you. You know, as HGV driver, we have 3 different cards. You have your license. You have got your CPC card. And you have got a tachograph card. And without any one of those, you have to have those that you on you at all time as a heavy goods vehicle driver. If you haven't got that, and VOSA or the department of these hypocrite people stop you, they can take you off the road and stop you from driving immediately. So you have to have those up to date. So today was one of, so I couldn't take today off in a sense. Within you have CPC, maybe within the year, they've got 4 different modules that you got to go through.
All right then, Chief. We're gonna get back to that. But you know this, you know how it go, Chief. You've listened to some of the shows then before, and this time we're in an official capacity now. You know what I mean? You're inside the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show, and you're being interviewed by
yours truly.
Yours truly.
I give thanks.
Yes,
I give thanks.
You know, Chief. What I want, this is about you. We want people to know who you really are. You know, how you become the chief. You wasn't the chief before. I mean, let me take you back to Jamaica. I mean, you came in when you was 15. Tell me a bit about your life in Jamaica. What part of Jamaica are you born?
I'm born in 9 miles out of Montego Bay. In a little district called Springfield District. You go up Springmount. Before you get up to Maroon Town. It's a pretty little district. You know, you go up on the hill and look down into many places. My education... No. You want to know my childhood?
I want to know about your childhood.
Yes.
So you're born in Jamaica?
Yes.
Have you got siblings? Or
yes.
Where are you within the siblings?
Sibling, I'm the second. Mom and dad, second from mom and dad, second of 6. The first from my mom and dad, but the second from my dad. My dad had another child outside, which I don't know. I've never met him. But my dad spoke of him, but I don't know what he looks like. But through the marriage between my mom and dad, there's 6 of us. So the 4 of us as boys and 2 girls.
So there's 7 of you then?
So there's 7 of us. Yeah. And we grew up as a great family network. 5 years ago.
What's the age? Sorry to cut you.
Yes.
What's the age difference between you and your siblings? So you're older. You're the second.
I'm the second.
So your oldest brother is
my earliest brother. I'm supposed to be about 65, 66 now. So we are about 2.5 years apart. Then you've got my sister.
You were about 60?
Yes.
You look good for 60.
I would have asked the far you're 64 and got 64, brethren.
I never realized I saw up in a age.
I am 64, man. You know, I'm proud of it.
You're going like a young boy.
Oh, don't you see me dance in the studio, brethren?
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Yes, so
I'm being honest, Chief. No. I didn't realize that you were that up in age.
There you go.
I thought you was about probably 60, maybe 60. I never realized you was that up in age.
I am, my brother. You know, and I'm proud of it because I've lived a good life in a sense. You know, through the family network, as I said, 5 years ago, the brother that I've got my sister who followed me, then a brother that followed her. The sister that followed me, she's in Canada. She's a nurse. She's in Canada. And the brother who followed her He's been shot by the police in Jamaica 5 years ago. So he's been assassinated.
Oh, them killed him?
Yes, they assassinated him. Put a gun at his ears. Put the gun on him, because when the pathologists and the inquest and all of these things that they go through, they could see the burn from the actually gun, you know, at his neck, and the other side of his neck was just open like someone used an axe. So and what we think, not what we think, is something that we know, but we can't prove it to say it's been done by a police. And I've got another brother who is a pilot. He has been here in Galaxy with us in America. He's one of those 4-star general. That's in the army. He fly helicopter. Dr. Abu Nico El Erekuti and many others have been with him. Even our brother Joseph, that you see will pass on. Brother Joseph, he's one of the family best musician. My dad was a police officer, and my mom was a chef, and so he took that musical background.
So hold on a second. Your father was a police officer.
My father was a police officer,
and then you were going to the army. Your other brother in the United States Army. And then one of your brother get killed by police.
One brother got killed by the police.
The irony of that.
It is irony, isn't it? Yes, so it's a journey. It's a journey. So during a period of time, as I'm saying, growing up in that type of family background, before I even came here, because you asked me about my childhood in Jamaica, so I'm kind of really leading you, and then I take you forward to where I am. It was, as I said, we live as a close network family because we have plenty land, and I grew up in a community like you was in Africa. In Jamaica, you have got my grandmother who was separated from my grandfather, but they live in a close proximity of each other. Then you have got my uncle, which was, I've got 4 uncles. I had one uncle here in Birmingham. He passed away now. He was one of the first African in Birmingham that have a funeral parlor. Yes, so that is here. So but I'm bouncing backward to tell you who they are. So within the family network, my uncle, who was living close, he had 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. Then I have my dad's sister, another sister. She have 2 children. And it, as I said, it's a family network. And so we were close.
With your father, like your father's side of people, how many brothers and sisters did he have?
My dad have 5 brothers and 3 sisters.
8 of them? No, 9 of them.
5 and 3 is 8.
No, but
5.
Including your father is 9.
Yes. That's it, yes.
Like a pi ratio teach me maths, you know.
Very much so, that's good. I'm glad, yes. Good for
And then on your mom's side now?
My mom had 2 brothers and 4 sisters. Look at that. My mom, and look at that. 2 brothers, 4 sisters. And my mom have 4 boys and 2 girls.
Look at that.
Look at the city. You see the country.
Yeah. So wait. I know you said that your mom and dad separate. Did they separate?
No. My mom and dad didn't separate. My grandmom and my granddad. My grandmom and granddad were separated, but they live close to each other. So you could pop out of one house and pop into the next one house. You know, so we have that closeness.
So were there other people within the community that lived in that same vicinity?
It was only a family. It was just my immediate family was living in that kind of community. There was like a road that passed between the land, a main road, and up that side is one family, and at the bottom side is one family. So you cross the road, you're in one family, and the other side you're into the same family. You know, so we were one family that was close, and we have that closeness as we actually. So when my dad at the age of 15 I did not even.
No, I don't want to reach 15.
All right, okay.
Because there's a lot of years before 15.
Oh gosh, there was a lot of years.
So as a toddler growing up,
yes.
You know, what did you play? Run around with the chicken there,
Each one of us. I mean, it's like Troy. We call it. You get work to do. Chores or whatever you call it. You call them English name. Then I work with the yard.
Then we in a set up, so yes, try for them.
Whatever, two of them. Yes, and they work together. Yes, you know. So we would wake up in the morning, and before school. As I said, we have massive land, lots of land that we have, and we would wake up in the morning, and at the bottom of the land, them call it gully. There's a big river down there, and so my dad never drink pipe water. Water that come in a pipe. My dad never drink that water. That water my dad drink, as he was brought up on the water from the spring. So we have to go down and catch water and bring water. We have some big drum, and we have to make sure those drum, 2 or 3 drum, have to full of water before we go to school. Then, who's not catching the water? We used to have rabbit, about 30 rabbits.
30 rabbits. Wow.
And we have about. And that was for us.
Carry on, Chief. Facebook, I'm going to move this thing a bit more.
Yes.
So you can catch the Chief. Catch us properly.
Right, as he's moving his machinery
around. Go and talk, Chief.
Yes. So we have rabbits.
A live thing, this, you know. So
yes. We have rabbits as children. We have goat. And of course we have chicken. And my dad used to have some pig as well.
Hog.
The hog. Yes.
So yeah, about trying.
Well, I'm calling pig.
Yeah, hog.
Well,
hog.
So we have all of those to actually take care of, make sure so they feed for all of them before we go to school. And you come home from school in the evening. You have to rush to school, walking distance anyway. So we'll walk to school, get to our school, and you know what school is all about.
No, I don't know what school in Jamaica is all about. School in
Jamaica is much different from school in here. Much different. Because, all right, let me kind of jump forward.
No, I don't want to jump forward.
Let me jump forward.
No, more
right.
Talk about school in Jamaica.
School in Jamaica, because I want to give an example.
What was your schooling like in Jamaica?
The schooling is good. I wasn't, because my first infant school, the first infant school was in not the proximity of our land, but the border.
The border, yeah, okay.
So all I would have to do is just, this is my house, and I climb underneath the fence and go to school. That was the first school that I attended to.
So what teachers did you have at the school? The white teachers? Or?
No, they were black teachers. Family-orientated teachers. Teachers that could talk to you. Teachers that will beat you. And your parents will beat you after. So that type of discipline we were brought up with within the schooling. And then we leave from there to that school. It's like call that basic school. And that's what it was called, basic school. So you leave from basic school, and then you go to like a secondary school.
And high school?
No. You go to a secondary. Then from a secondary school, then you can take a test to go to a high school. And you've got different type of high school. Those you pay for, and those you get scholarship. You win scholarship to go to. And then you've got some that the government will sponsor you if you're one of those students who are, the school would recommend you, and the government would pay half, and your family, your parents would pay half. So I went to one of those schools that the government pay off through the back on my dad, you know what I mean? As a police officer, talk to somebody, and somebody talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And I went to one of those schools. And I went to one of those schools. I mean, all of us, as children, have had...
Did you ever get beaten at school?
What? Beaten? No, we're talking about beaten. We get plenty beaten, man. I mean...
Name me something that you actually get beaten for at school.
One of the first things I remember, I got beaten for at school. One of my colleague, schoolmate, come to school one time, and he come to school, and him bring him school lunch. I may take it away. I take it away and take him lunch.
So you was a robber?
I was a Rastafari idea. I will never forget that. And I get some beating for that, brethren. That was the first.
So why
beating.
did you take away his food? I mean, you had a lot of land. Was you hungry or?
No, we wouldn't, because I take it away and give it away to other children. I didn't eat it. I took it away and handed it over to other children.
But why did you do that?
That is something I can't answer now. That is something that I could never.
When you did that?
I think I was maybe about 7, 8.
7, 8.
About 7, 8. Because on one of the things that we were taught by our parents not to eat from anybody. So don't care. The only people we'll eat from is only our immediate family. The family network that we're brought up. We only eat from those people. If we should go anywhere and someone should give us something, we'll take it but we'll never eat it. And maybe as the person turned their back, we'll throw it away. So my mom always taught us not to eat from anyone. So we'll not eat for anyone. So me taking that food, I'll just take it away and go and give it to somebody else.
Oh, so you're just being a bully?
I don't think I was a bully, but maybe I was.
What do you mean?
I look at it like that.
If you take away a man food and them things, what do you think that is?
But then again, he never eat
You
it.
had fights in school?
I had fight. I never lost a fight. I've never lost a fight. So, you know, and one of the things like that was like, what do you fight for? I suppose it's just young male testosterone, or what you call it, testosterone.
Yeah, testosterone.
That inside the system, and you know, and I was one of those children that I was always quiet. I was always quiet.
You was always quiet, but you take away man food.
Always quiet.
It
So
was
it's like-
always quiet, but you take away people food.
So it's just a quietness. You know, but behind that quietness was a different side of me. And that side of me, it would come out. For example, I remember going to school, and in the schoolyard, we used to play marbles. I don't know if you remember marbles. And the big boys used to play.
You're older than me, Chief, but, you know,
Yes.
I'm coming close.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. You'll get there, but I will be further away. And playing marbles, the boys them used to have the marble in the ring. And you come to my house, I used to have maybe 500-600 marbles. And it's very rare I buy a marble. And the way I used to do this now.
You just take away people.
No, I don't take that. No, I don't take with the marbles. I don't take with the marbles. I used to stand around the ring. And when the big boys, because the big boys, the bigger boys, them come and take with the marbles are in the ring. And when I see them come, I just go and pick up the marbles and out of the ring. And then all the rest of you, them come and said, oh, this, and somebody put marble in pretty. And I will give back your marble and give that one his marble and give that one his marble. And then what they will do now, I will become the protector. And then they will give me a marble. So that I become now the protector around, the guard around the ring. So every time I ring up, and the bigger boys, them kind of really scare me. But in the long run, because I was small, you know. I was small, but they say, look over your talawa. As big as you was, as big as you, listen to me. You could have tall like a tree. I wouldn't be afraid of you. And I would fight you. And I would have a fight. And so they never really pick on me. So when they come and see me, they said, plus because a lot of those children at the time, they know my dad. And so I kind of really use that in a sense that no one doesn't really.
Police.
My dad a police, and them, and the funny thing about that, which I didn't tell you, one of my uncle was a police as well.
Oh God Almighty! Man.
So I grew up into that type of family where my dad is a police.
So not
That's
bully
the one
up
the police.
Not bully up the area.
Well,
As police boy,
that was the type of family I brought up into. That was the family I come up into.
So from school then, yeah. Did you do well in school? Did you?
I did quite well in school. I did quite well in school, and I remember, you know, my dad was a little bit annoyed that he didn't assist me to go further beyond where I went. And that was that. That was that. I mean, we look at it, and he talk about it, and my dad wanted me to become a musician. My dad was a great violinist. My dad played violin.
Really?
My dad used to play violin with an organist. So in the church, the pianist or organist, and my dad, he would just play by ear with the violin.
Original fiddler.
What do you, man? Listen, and my eldest daughter today, she won a scholarship in this country for music.
Wow.
Right? So we brought up into that realm, and I would kind of really bang on the drum. So we'd play a little bit of drum, Away from that, that's the only musical skill or talent that I've got.
You know, you've moved into having a radio station, being a disc jockey, so still playing around music, have a sound system and that.
Yes, and
it's still in your blood.
It's still inside of me, and I tell you something as well. To see Jamaica at that time, I was brought up in a privileged community, in a sense, because where we were in Jamaica, my house, because of my dad, was the last house in the district with electricity. They run the light to the last house, was my house. And further beyond that, there was no light. And the only reason why they stopped the light there is because of my dad. As a police, the light would stop there. So in the evening, where I live was like a little community center outside where everyone come and congregate at my gate.
So you can't have light?
Because we have light. And when the lamppost have a light on it. So everyone from all around would come and underneath the sun. It was discipline in a sense, because they know my dad is a police, and them come and put up a bench there, so and underneath the light. So we have that type of privilege. We had a fridge in the house, a kerosene, I call it parfin in this country. We have a parfin fridge. We have a television, you know what I mean, a black and white television. So as I said, we were brought up.
Was it close to you, Dad?
Very, very. I mean, and I spoke about my dad a lot. My dad showed me, and my mom wasn't 100% happy with my dad, considering that my mom know that my dad have another child. And mom always says to my dad, "Oh, come you don't let the rest of children know where the other boy there. You don't bring him." But my dad always showed me that fatherly love that I always want to give to my children. You know, so I remember at 15, when my dad, even though my dad was a police, he used to cultivate bananas. And so there are times when we never used to go to school. Like on a day when he used to cut banana. None of us as children ever go to school. We always have to go down to the banana water, to go and get the banana, and take the banana at a place with the truck to come and collect it. And he used to do plenty bananas. So he used to have maybe 4 or 5 people that work in the banana field with him. To, you know,
including yourselves.
We only carry the banana. We never cut them. Okay. So what he does now, he will pay us as young children, and that was our little pocket money. Another thing that we used to do, we
money?
In a sense, yeah, because we used to get choppans or 2 shilling. A choppans are 2 shilling now for money that. Back in those days.
As a 60-odd-year-old person.
Very much so. Yeah. You know, we used to get a lot of money in that sense. And the next thing that we used to do, we used to go and get stone and brought the stone and sell the stone.
I see.
And Chuck will come and
so. Don't a quarry?
No, we on our land.
Yeah, we don't have a quarry upon the land.
We have no, it's not even quarry. Or because we have so much land. The land that we have, there were times that my dad would go on the land and the goat will have kid, and he never knows that the goat will have kid until him see whole pack kid around on the place. Because sometimes he never travel the land as he should until him see a goat.
How much land was it?
Plenty. We still have the land. It's still there.
No, do you know roughly how much?
Gosh, maybe about 40, 50 acres of land.
That's a lot of land.
Lot of land. You know, so you go.
Who's back there now then?
My youngest brother, he's still there. He's the only one that is still there. And I've got 2. He used to work for Brinksmat. Security at Brinksmat.
What, in Jamaica?
He used to drive the Brinksmat van. He's not working there now because he had an accident a few years ago where the van crashed and he had an accident. Right now he's not 100% well because he have just had one of his toe amputated, like our beloved brother Kwame. And
I'm diabetic too.
No, he said they say he's got cancer in the toe, so they took the toe off. But he's, you know what I mean, he's reasonably well at the moment. So he's there, and my mom is there. My dad passed.
What was he? Sorry, go on.
No, my dad passed away in 2006.
What age was he?
82. He passed away in 2006. My mom is still alive.
Cause of death?
My dad's death was a strange one. My dad used to have one of those old bed that he said that my dad will never change that bed. We were, as children, we brought up into that bed. And that bed was one of those first wind-up bed you have ever seen. It's a 4-poster bed. And he said his grandmother leave it for his mother, and his mother leave it for him. And that bed, you could never break that bed. The only thing my dad have ever changed on that bed is the mattress. And so what he does, my dad get one mattress and then put another mattress, so the bed become higher than high. And he went out one night, because he retired now. He retired from the police, decided, so well, he has done enough. Enough is enough. He wanted to concentrate on his farming. Went out, have a drink, came back home, fell off the bed, had a stroke, and that was it.
What you say?
He just fell off the bed, one stroke, and that was that. And the funny thing about my dad's death, my dad's death was a strange one. My dad wasn't feeling 100%. My brother who have passed away, who they have shot, he says to my brother, I feel for some fish tea. Go and get me some fish. And my brother decided to go and get him the fish. My brother never come back the same evening. All right. I rang my dad. And I rang my brother in America. And he and I decided, say, well, we're going to link up together in Jamaica for his Earth Day, my brother Earth Day. Because my brother now was born on the 25th. My last brother was born on the 25th of December. And we said we're going to arrange to go to Jamaica and celebrate his Earth Day and go and link up with my dad, because we haven't seen our dad now for some time. So I rang my dad and said, Dad, here what happened now? That was in November. That was the October. It was in the October. I said, Dad, we're coming to see you soon, He said, you're going to make me dead before you come and see me. I said, what you say? I said, no, man, don't talk about them. I said, no, sir. I said, what's wrong with you? Nothing wrong with you. The only thing wrong with my dad at the time that we know of was my dad went and got himself a few cow. Right.
Well, at that age?
At that age, he had himself a few cow. But that was strong, brethren. And he went to cut, because the cow they eat bamboo and grass. So he went to cut some bamboo to give to the cow, the leaves. And one of the bamboo stick him in the eye. Right. Now, over a period of time, because it scarred the eye, each time him close him eye, it feel like something is inside the eye, because it's scar inside the eye. He keeps saying something is in the eye. Went to the hospital, they x-rayed, have a look. Them said there's nothing in the eye, but it's just because it's scarring in the eye. Over a period of time, it will eventually go. Going to take a long time for the scar to go. And that was the only illness that we know that our dad have at the time. So when he says to me, you're going to let me dead before you come? I said, no, man, we don't say them something there. And that was a Wednesday evening. Right? The Wednesday, finished the phone call, and that was that. The Saturday morning, we lay down, sitting on the floor, I start up my record, because I'm on the radio now, take over from me and Chris Jammins used to be on. And I'm starting up my record. The Saturday morning, the phone rang about 8 o'clock. My sister in America rang me. She said, oh, Dad gone. I said, gone where? She said, Dad gone. And then she paused. And I said, and I just paused myself. And I said, come on, Dad gone where? Because my mom used to live in America. And my mom have her green card. So I said, I wonder if my mom now, can I get my dad to go to America? And when she paused now, I said,
Sounded like that. I don't think that would have wanted to go to America.
He wouldn't. But that was my feeling at the time. And then when she paused now, I said, yes, something seriously have gone wrong. And then she started to cry. I said, okay, my dad had passed away. I said, how did he pass away? And that was where my dad passed. And I said, all right. And eventually...
Sounds like he was very close to you, Dad.
We were close. As I said, we were close. Because as close... Before I came, as I was going to tell you, buying all of these banana, getting all of these things, our little pocket money. My dad said, I always want a bicycle. I said, I want a bike. at my age of 15. My dad said, "We had to with bike." I said, "I want a bike. I want a motorbike."
A motorbike?
A motorbike.
Okay, all right.
I said, "I want a motorbike."
Think you're saying on bicycle?
No, we have bicycle. All of us have bicycle. The four of us as boys have bicycle.
You want a motorbike?
But I want a motorbike. I want to step up. I remember my dad, one day my dad came and said, "I've got something outside for you." At the time we used to have market shop that carry the people to market, take up all the goods and bits and pieces. And my dad, as he was a police officer, I don't know when my dad get this bike. But my dad come and say, I've got something outside for you. And him get the market shop to drop the bike at my gate. And we go out and see the bike. Oh my goodness gracious me. That's one of the most beautiful sights in my life. I couldn't ride. And eventually I started learning to ride. Hung off both foot off of the bike and ride down the road. And eventually I started to get used to the bike. And I started to ride. And me and my dad now used to go out in the night. Because my dad used to, "Come boy, come and take me here, sir. Come and take me there, sir." My mom used to complain and say, "Where take the boy go? You have to look for your woman then with the boy. Make the boy out in the yard. Where take him to?" And me and my dad gone. My dad no have a transport. And I will go and drop him off. And then we come and say, "Come back and pick me up some time." And then we go and pick him up and take him back home. So I have that closeness with my dad. And I think all of us have a different love for our dad. We have a different closeness. And I don't think my dad did actually show any one of us any more love than any of us, each other. You know what I mean?
Your mom?
My mom was the disciplinarian in the house. My dad loved us. If my dad gonna beat you, only 2 lick my dad will give you. My mom will just beat you.
Your life seems like parallels mine to reggae.
My dad will beat you and my dad will give you 2 lick and you run. But my mom will beat you and put you in one corner and go on and talk and come back and beat you again. But so they were strict disciplinarian family that we were brought up with. So my mom was always there as the quiet person, but not the quiet person.
It's interesting that you would say that, Chief, because in my yard,
yes,
my mom was a disciplinarian.
Some of the mothers are like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
They take control.
Dangerous.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Dangerous. Don't joke with her.
There you go.
And she not smile.
My mom will smile.
No, my mother never smiled. She don't smile and she don't hug.
My mom will smile. But you know when my mama smile, she want to hold you. Anytime you see my mama smile and she come towards you, you can see a different look in her face, but she's smiling. And she grab you. And when she hold on to you, you can't get away from her. And anything my mom find, because you see, my mom is the type of mom like this. If she's going to beat you, she don't put no switch in your hand. She don't put nothing in her hand. Because you know what I want. So when she grab, anything that she see, anything she put her hand on,
I'm familiar
and
with
that she put on you, and you hold it, and she place it on you. That was the type of mom.
So it seems like you had an exciting time growing up in Jamaica.
It was exciting. On a Saturday when we didn't have anything to do, where we have something to do, but didn't have anything to do, Saturdays, the girls them would actually polish the floor. They used to have a dye. And the coconut thing to the floor. When you walk in the floor, Kwaku, you want to slide in the floor, brethren. The floor used to be slippery when the floor shine. And us as boys, we used to go to bush and get wood. Because we have 2 kitchens. We have 1 kitchen inside the house and 1 kitchen outside. Now the kitchen inside the house is for emergency. That is to say, if rain or anything like hurricane, that kitchen has been used because they have a wood fire. Or sometimes my mom would have coal that she burn inside the house. But outside the kitchen now is a wood fire in the kitchen. And that cook the food sweet. So we will get the wood. And when we finish on a Saturday, we go on a bush, we go on a river, and we go shoot bird, and we go catch fish. You see, that is our growing up in Jamaica in that sense.
So what made your parents send you to this country?
My uncle, who were living here, said, send the boy here. My uncle and my uncle was my dad's first brother. And he and my dad was close, very close. And I suppose between reasoning with my dad decided, say, well, then I want to send to England, go stay with your uncle. Go with your uncle. maybe I've said to my dad, life would have been better for me here than the life that I was living. But when I came here, I got here. I wanted to go back the moment I came here.
Yeah, I want to get to that, but I want
Yes.
to get to why they decided to send you.
That we don't know. That have never been established.
Who did you come with? Did you get escort?
Come on my own. Them put me on one plane. They put me on one
When
plane.
you want letter?
Put me on one plane and me come from BOAC.
I remember BOAC.
We'll come from BOAC, come Heathrow. Listen, let me come here with one suit pretty like the blue. The blue and the computer there so. And because I never know that uncle. I've never met him. And he come to the airport and a description of what me look like. But I know him through a picture because there was always a picture at the house of him. So when me there Heathrow and him, me see him, me know saw him. And him know saw me, and that was that. And I didn't go to Birmingham. He have a place in Dulwich. Well, he have a place in Dulwich. Glengarry Road, opposite Dulwich Hospital. Opposite the hospital there, so.
Opposite the hospital, yeah.
Right, there's some stay. And maybe...
So hold on, let's stop there. So you're leaving Jamaica. How did you feel leaving Jamaica and leaving your family?
I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave because I was leaving a place that I'm familiar with. I know everything. I know everybody. Everyone know me. And I'm going into a place that somewhere that I didn't imagine what Britain looked like. I didn't have no inkling of what this country would have looked like. I heard of it, but that never come in my imagination. Just say, this is what Britain looked like and this is where you're going to go. So when I came to Heathrow and the coal, I look down on the plane and I see the place fog. I see all these chimney. I look up and say, Rastafari. It's like the whole place a factory. Because I never know so these houses. You know what I mean? And then when I came now, it's another culture shock that hit me. Because when I came, there was no central heating.
Yeah.
When I come, no central heating.
Paraffin heater,
Paraffin heating, you have to go buy paraffin at the shop. Or kerosene oil, we call it at Jamaica. Or the coal man come with a horse and cart with the bag of coal and then buy the bag of coal and have the coal fire inside the house. That was what I came and saw. You see, even
before you get to you're leaving Jamaica.
Yes.
I want to talk about that part.
Come on.
How did you know that you were going to leave to come in?
They told me. My dad told me you're going to go and stay with your uncle in England.
What was your first reaction to that?
My first reaction was I was numb. Because here it is, it's 6 of us, and I'm the first one that's going to leave. So I said, all right. He said, no, your sister is going to, because we have another relative in Canada. And so your sister is going to Canada, and you're going to England. So that was what was relayed to us. You know, so we take it on board and said, all right, this is what we're going to do. And we both went to the airport together. She went on one plane, and we went on another one.
So how did you feel leaving your sister going that way? And
as I'm saying, you feel lost. You're empty.
So you're on the plane. What was the plane ride like?
Scary. Because I've never been on a plane before. Scary. But going up and then after a while, you don't feel that scary anymore. You don't feel that it didn't bother me anymore. And touching down is when I said it's like a touchdown and the cold start touch me now. We said, this is not for me. And so that was now my first experience in this country of what I saw.
So you flew in and you land.
Yes.
Where did you stay?
It
wasn't Birmingham, you said?
No, Glengarry Road.
Oh,
Glengarry Road. I stayed in Glengarry Road.
When you're coming in now, you're driving, you've seen all these houses. What's your first imagination?
The place was ugly because all the houses them look alike. All the houses was look alike, and I didn't. To be honest with you, I did not imagine that these was houses because when you look in the plane and looking down, as I said, I thought they were all factories because I could see smoke coming out of them, and I thought they were all factories, and I thought I was driving for a long time to find this house that I was going to go into. So when I got to the house, I realized now that these houses are not factory. This is one of the dwellings that I'm going to stay in. You see, so that was kind of really the first experience of me coming here. And within, say, and then the next thing that kind of really shocked me, I came into the winter of that year, and when I came, and the fog. And this was the shocking part. This was the shocking part. The shocking part was this. Even though I saw the fog, which this type of fog I've never seen in Jamaica. And then the family that I stay with, before the uncle take me down to Birmingham for a couple of strong, the house and the room that they put me in, icicle was coming off the window. I used to put my hand outside and broke off icicle. I eat the icicle, brethren.
Oh, yeah.
Me cut the grass. Yeah, me broke off icicle. And them used to put them bacon and milk outside because they never have no fridge in the house. You see, it was an experience that, looking back at it, I think people like myself, we need to write all a book of this type of experiences that we face when we come here and what we see.
So when you come in, because you're growing in a society where it's pure black people.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw white people.
There was very few European that I did mingle with. Very few European that. One of the only European, or two of the only European that I did say talk to in Jamaica was two school teachers. One was a Spanish teacher and one was an English teacher. Was the only two European stroke white people that I was actually talked to when I was in Jamaica growing up. Everybody else was like me. My doctor was black.
So when you land in and you think this factory, who picked you up from the airport?
My uncle. My uncle came and picked me up with his wife and one of his daughter. They came and picked me up at the airport. And so one of his daughter was living. So I came and stayed with his daughter, one of my cousins now, in Glengarry Road. That's where I stay. In Glengarry Road with my uncle daughter, first daughter. I stay with her. You know, then sometime like maybe once or twice a month, he will come and pick me up, and I will go with Birmingham, spend a little time, spend a day or two at Birmingham with him. So he would come like on a Friday evening and come and pick me up and then take me back to London. You see, so that was that part of me coming here. So you're going on, and you go on.
So, you land at England, your uncle picks you up. What were you thinking about how you're going to approach England at the time? I mean, did you feel you was coming for good, or you was just coming for a time? What was it?
To be honest with you,
did you know?
No, I never know how long I was going to stay. That wasn't even said to me, because the first thing that the uncle says to me, that month, I was supposed to go into school, because sign up to go into school, right? And I said, the moment school start, I said, well, going to school, I know, well, it's going to take a long time. You know what I mean? So on my Earth Day, I know, well, I would have to stay into school another year extra because of the way my Earth Day falls, because my Earth Day is in October. You know what I mean? So I know that I would have to go into school, stay in school till I was about even 17, 18. Depends on what schooling will be like. You know, so that was a little bit of strange happening for me at that time. That was strange for me at that time. And I wasn't expecting to be still in this country from what my experience was from
so
that
time. You thought that you was coming on a vacation or something?
Yes, I thought it was only going to be a short stay. Because I don't think it was explained to me, per se, or the two of us, that it would be a long-term stay that we were going to come and stay on. And coming here, I don't think my uncle went through any odd period of time for me to have my stay. I don't think that was any great problem for him to get my documentation, you know, to what is happening today. I think my documentation came through reasonably easy. Quick went through my documentation. And then, you know, the story continued from signing me up to one of them school and never to like all the school. Me going to school and because you come from Jamaica.
What school did you go to?
One school run by the Dulwich. Go by the hill so. Me remember the name of the school, brethren. And me go there and then me never to like the school because me speak fast. And then I remember one day I can't remember. I think I said like highs and a little white boy start mount me because I say hi. I don't know if I say highs or high. Because you come from yard and you speak raw. You know what I mean? And he started to mount me. I'm going to go back and say, I don't want to go back at that school. So there's a school run by Bermondsey. Then them take me run a school there. I spend a couple of months in a school there done by Bermondsey. And it's just by chance. After the schooling, I didn't even finish school. They sent me to Camberwell Green. I went to go and get something in Camberwell Green. I can't remember what I was going for, but they sent me to Camberwell Green, and I went to. As I was walking through Camberwell Green, I saw the Army Career Center, and I stood there looking at all the paraphernalia inside the window, the gun, and there was a soldier standing at the door, and he says to me, "Do you like it? Do you like what you see?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come in, come in, come in, come in." He said, and he invited me in. So he invited me in, still only 16 yet. And he invited me in and he said, "Do you like it?" He said, "Would you like to join the army?" And I said, "Yes." And the man just put some paper in front of me and said, "Yeah, you are." And we just do the little test, quick time, and give him the paper. And within a couple of, not even 2-3 months later, I get the confirmation that I passed the test. And I'll tell you something, I passed the test, and I joined the army, I'm a 16 earth strong. I'm a 16 earth there, I joined the army. And that was where the process started for me from then. You know, so it's a process to where I'm coming from, part of my journey to where I am now.
Well, people, you're hearing it, Chief Procumberby's story about how he came to Britain. You're in tune to Newbury Forum People's Talkshow live here on GalaxyAfiwe.com. So you're at 15. What was school like when you went to school here?
As I said, school wasn't. I didn't have a good experience. I didn't like it because, as I said, I was like being mounted. You know, every time you open your mouth, the youth them laugh at you.
Because you speak. Yeah.
Because I speak fast, and you know my English.
You speak with a dialect.
Yes, my English is not something that them could understand.
See.
So even when I go into school and the teacher want to ask me question and I don't even want to answer, because I know become scared of these youths start laugh at me. So that's why I go back, because I don't want to go back around school.
See. So you're born school.
We're born school, Rasta. You know, and I said that if I would, you know, many times I said to them, I want to go back home. I want to go back home. Oh man, I was crying to go back home. You know, so it was this type of process, and I wouldn't like this. And I don't think parents realize when they take you out of that environment to put you into another environment, what it does to you.
Yeah, truly.
It kind of really it shock you.
So when you come here, did you have fights at school? Did you?
Yeah, fight at school. Listen, I never fight. I never think I fight in Jamaica. The few months I go to school here as a brethren, it's like I fight every day. And the teacher said they want to suspend me out of school. And that's what I said to my family. I said, I don't want to go back there. Because the moment when you say something to me, I'm turning him upside down. Because I'm raw. You come out of a hot country, I'm coming to one cold country. Maybe I try to fight to get warm.
Isn't it, Bucky?
The next shock that I had, Brother Kwaku, the next shock that I had to my system, and I think that was the first shock I had, the first day of my shock, is when I came and I went inside the house, and I wanted to go to the toilet. The toilet was outside. That was the first shock in my life. The toilet was outside, brethren. But that shock was shock. But what shocked me on top of the shock, where my goose pimple start grow goose pimple, it's when in night now, and it's cold at night and I want to go to the toilet.
See.
And you're going to the toilet and the door was about 200 foot off of the ground. And the cold breeze are going underneath and come in upon you and the brethren. I say, Rastafari. You couldn't dress it too much clothes. Considering that, and the room them cool. So you come into one cool and going to Thailand. You know what? So you try and hold on to the urine, and if you want to do number 2, you try and hold it until in the morning. Because outside is dark, brethren, and you know, I mean, it's cool. And that was kind of the first type of shock, the home life shock that I had. So that wasn't the best type of experience. That I would never have said I would have right back to yard. And because when I write back to my mom, I said, Mom, I want to come home. Tell Dad, please, I want to come home.
What did you say?
They never respond. My mom and Dad never respond, brethren, as far as I'm concerned. And they, you know what I mean? So that was something that I don't know other young people who have had that type of experience, what it was like for them. But I can tell you what it was like for me. It wasn't a pleasant experience.
So did you face racism in this?
I never faced racism per se in the school away from those in the schoolyard. And I don't think it was racism. They were just laughing at me because of the way I speak. I didn't see it as racism. You didn't know it was racism? Well, I didn't know it was racism because it wasn't.
Innit?
That's it. It wasn't something
60s,
that it wasn't
70s,
something. Yeah, it wasn't something that I was brought up to say it was racism. And if it was racism, I don't think it was. It wasn't been talked about. It wasn't been talked about that time. To say racism. I saw a little bit of racism, little bit, because the army always tried to prevent racist element from in the army. So that didn't face me until when I got out of the army. That was when I saw racism. I was walking into Peckham, and someone come up with Ford Escort, about 4 youth in an escort, and the man has come up beside me and spat at me. They spat me. I heard, and that time they've got gosh, this big supermarket. That's what them call themselves now. They closed down now. Woolworth, the Woolworth store
yeah.
was in Peckham, where them have the Arndale Centre. It was a big store. You've got John Lewis on top there, and Arnsditch or what do they call himself? So it's big. That was just an area of shopping area that was. And I went into Woolworth the time, and a lady said to me, excuse me, you've got something running on the side of your face. Yeah, you hear me, Brother Kwaku? The lady said, you've got something running down the side of your face.
Something running down the side of your face?
The lady said, you've got something running down the side of your face. And it's when I put my hands so and comes to brethren,
Spit.
a big lump of coal as yellow as the book over this, brethren. The person had the place coal and spat on me, brethren. That was the first element of what I could say, real racism.
So did you see who do it? Did you know?
Yes, the geezer them was in the car.
Oh,
I was walking and I heard two. But I didn't take it as anything because me have my woolly ear. And so it kind of glowed in the ear.
Oh, God, man.
It glowed on the side of the ear. So it caught up in the ear. You know, so when the lady told me now, I come so and put my hand on the side of the face now and I feel it and come on my hand. The thing was so gluey, brethren. Now, I said to myself, Rastafari, no. If me did hold a person there,
oh my God.
if I did hold on to that person, that would be a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have been out of prison. Though personally, that's the honest truth. Is either them kill me or me I take a life. Did you spat on me like that? With that, no, my brother. That was the first element of racism that I went through when I came here. And in spite of all that, because even in the army, you know, I fought when I was in the army. I fight when I was in the army. I fought when I was in Germany. You know, in the army, you've got colleagues that we fight back to back. We fought back to back, and we laugh and we joke with each other. And I don't think no one showed me any element of racism that I can say it's racism, because I started to grow to understand what racism is all about when I was in the army. But colleagues joke a lot in the army. And I sat down in the barrack room one day. I was in Germany and I was writing a letter. At that time, I met this woman and I engaged to her. And I was in Germany and started to write her a letter. So I wrote her a letter maybe 2-3 times are strong. I'll write a letter. Sit down, you come in and you sit down in the evening, put your towel around your neck, and you sit down and, you know what I mean, I write a letter. And this geezer came around behind me and started to read out my letter to everybody inside the barrack room. And he stood there, and every word I write, him call it out. And he stood there, and I started to work myself up in a very, very funny way, but it was quiet. And I wait until him finish. And I turn around and I said to him, "Say you finish?" He said, "Yes." And the same chair I was sitting down on, I just get up and fight my brother. I'm just make him sit down on it. I lick him down with it.
You lick him
I
down with
lick
the
him
chair?
down with the chair, brethren. I just take up the chair and I lick him down on the floor. And when him sit on the floor, I just put the chair over him and walk off, left him. You know, so you know.
Well, people, listen up. I've got to take a toilet break.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna take a toilet break.
So I'm going to play Chief, because this is Chief's, one of Chief's favourite tune. And I like to play this tune. So I'm going to play this tune here for Chief while I go.
Take a little break.
Cycle late. Yeah? I'm going to pause on the Facebook, so I'll be pausing. The wife said, "Lord, the details and graphic." Yes, in true to New Birth from People's Talkshow, live here on GalaxyAfewa.com. I'm back up on the Facebook. We got the Chief in the house. This is his tune. He loves this tune. He says, "Unable to get Galaxy live on the internet. Unable to get you on tuning. Zion. Go Simple Radio. Greetings, Galaxy family. Prophet Kwaku, please ask the Chief what year he came to England, how old he was when he came, and did he ever feel like changing a Jamaican accent fitted." Pick up yourself there. Lin. Alright. We're back with Chief. We'll let some put that on a pause. So, Chief.
Yes, my beloved brother.
You had a big spit in your ear.
Yeah, man.
You must have been angry.
I was very angry.
And what age were you when that happened?
I was out of the army then. That was 1982. So I just came out of the army. I was on discharge leave.
But hold on, you came here when you was 15.
Yes.
You joined the army when you was 16.
I stayed in 1982.
Now, when you came when you was 15, you know, what part of your 15th year was you in? 6 months, 5 months, 3 months?
Before joining the army?
No. You say you come here when you were 15.
Yes.
You joined the army when you were 16.
Mm-hmm. Just before I became 16, I joined. I actually went in on my 16th birthday. I went into the army.
No, but you come here when you're 15.
15, yes. So I only went. As I said, I only went to school here in a few months.
Oh, so only a few months.
Only a few
so
months.
What drew you to the army?
I told you, I was walking into Camberwell Green. I was sent to Camberwell Green. I can't remember what I was sent to go and buy. I had to go and collect something in Camberwell Green. And I was passing the Army Career Centre. Do you know where Camberwell Bart was?
Yes.
Where the Bart was? Opposite Camberwell Bart. Just where I think it's Patty Island there now.
Yeah.
There was the Army Career Centre there. And I was just walking past and I saw and this geezer was standing at the door. And he says to me, "Do you want to come in? Do you want to see?" And I went in. And he just said to me, "Would you like to join the army?" And I said yes. He put the paper in front of me, took the test. And
Yeah, but why did you say yes, though?
what I know now, quick, I didn't know that then.
No.
So
I'm not
what did
talking
I say
about-
yes?
I'm
But
not
at
talking
15,
about that.
at 15.
You're 15.
Yes.
I
I like what I saw. I like the gun. I like the sunset. I like what I saw. I like all of those things.
Well, you know what?
Yes.
Me and my cousin, you know, ran about the same age, you know.
Yeah.
This is how life's quite parallel. Me and my cousin ran about the same age. We went in Beckenham. We went to join the army.
Okay.
And we're just about to fill out the forms. And we were talking. We say, yeah, 2 years is all right. I said, no. I said, that's not 2 years. It's 3
3 years. Yes.
And because it was 3 years, we walk out.
Okay. The first 3 years. Then after the first 3 years, 6 months or maybe 8 months before, they will come to you and ask you if you want to extend it. So you have 6 months to prepare, so they can prepare documentation to give you discharge leave.
For civil life.
For the civil life. And I decided to just continue because, you know, you get used to it, you become seasoned. And at that time,
I want to take you back.
yes.
So you sign up the forms,
Mm-hmm.
and you went home to your uncle.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say to them?
I told him, I said, I've just joined the army. And he said, is that what you want to do? And I said, yeah. He wanted me to come to Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
He said, come to Birmingham, come into the business with me. But me don't want to go in a funeral parlor business. Me don't want.
But you're going in at the killing
Me don't want to go into that.
You want to do the killing, but you don't want to do the burying.
Me don't want to go into that something that's virgin. Me say me not go into that.
Big up yourself, George.
Me say me don't want that. Me stay the army. But this just shows you your moral thinking at that time. You're not thinking for the positive. You don't see that as the type of upliftment. You don't look into well, and that is a job that could take you beyond. So, and at that time, with that young age, the element of being in the army, you know, the gun and all the paraphernalia what the army have, that was more enticing. The casket never enticed me. That enticed me. So when I says to him, no, I want to do this. He was like my dad. My dad never really forced you.
Yeah.
They kind of encourage you. And then again, my dad says to me, I remember my dad had said to him that if I was in Jamaica, he would have encouraged me to join the police force. And I would not have joined the police force in Jamaica. Because my mom always says to my dad, I hope you're not dragging putting them in the police force with you. Because you know in Jamaica, the police them shoot you and ask question after. And my mom always says to my dad, I don't want anyone bad blood. If you kill anybody, make blood come from me picking them. Let them stay out of them. No, don't drag them inside there with you. So that was like a telling that my mom didn't want us to be part of the work what dad was doing. So me being in the army, and I said, all right. And he kind of really accepted when eventually I wrote to him and tell him that I decided to join the army. He accepted. He never resisted and said, no, you shouldn't do that. I mean, yes.
So you joined the army at 16. What was the first thing that happened?
The first thing that happened, you go to your training. I went to Tidworth in Hampshire. And that was the first place. Then he went into some bush and army training for the first 6 weeks. They tried to get the civilian life out of you. So everything that they shout and scream at you, everything you do, you don't walk, you run around everywhere you run, you march, left, right, someone shout at you somewhere. So you're always on the move in the army. Someone is always seeing you, and you always want to be on the move. That was something now that you started to say, well, this is what the army is all about. And before you actually went into training, you kind of really linger into the barrack room for a little while to see how the rest of squaddy on the parade ground have been treated. So you got an insight of what you expect going to happen to you. And so you go into your first part of the training. The hardest part of the army training for me, and I'm sure that for just about everyone else, if you don't go into the elite squad, was the gas chamber.
Gas chamber?
All soldiers got to go through a gas chamber. Every jack soldier got to go through a gas chamber.
You go through a gas chamber? You
go through a gas chamber. They put you into a room. They lock you into a room. But first, what they do, you fit. Your body start to get fit. So maybe within, say, 2-3 months of you getting fit, and your body start getting fit, and you start getting to the training, you go through a gas training. You go through 2 types of training. MBC.
The gas training.
Yes.
Tell me about the gas
I'm going to tell you about it. The 2 hardest part of the training you go through. The gas training and the MBC, they collate with each other.
What's MBC?
MBC is for example, if someone should come and gas the country, you go through a system that you put on some clothes to prevent some attack, like the COVID-19 now. You see, like these people go to space and then put on these big suit. In the army, in MBC, you put on one of them suits, you got a respirator. So you put on a respirator and you mask up yourself. But you have to do that first before you mask up your friend. before you make sure it's your friends, and you all suit. But they put you into a gas chamber. And they've got different type of gas. You've got the gas that they use pill, and they got a gas like a canister that they throw it into. But they run you around first. So you go for a long run, and your pores are open, and they put you into the room. And sometimes they get you to even run around in the room, so your body is hot and warm. You got one officer. He's immune to the gas, and he stands at the door. And you go to the door and ask your name, rank, and number. Yeah. And by the time you give your name, rank, and number, and you go. You inhale the gas, and the gas lock off. The gas just block off you in, so you can't breathe. You totally can't breathe. It shut you down, and then just kick you outside into the fresh air, and then you stay there. It's like your entire system paralyzed. So all soldiers go through that. That's the hardest part of the training. That is, any soldier that go through that and tell you that.
Do you know of any soldier that died through
that training? They always have a medical team. They always have a medical team there to make sure if you collapse, there's somebody there to resuscitate you.
So you're going out the gas chamber, and then let off the gas.
Yes.
And you have to inhale it.
Yes, you inhale it.
And then you drop down.
Yes. So it is to prevent to get aware with a nuclear attack. So all soldiers supposed to prepare for that. So they prepare you for that attack. So you're the first one.
I don't know how they expect anybody to prepare for a bloody nuclear attack.
Well, so there you go. So they start preparing. So you go through that process. So that was one of the hardest part of the training for me. Everything else was elementary within the period of the training.
So you're in the army. What's the first place the army takes you to?
The first place out of London. We traveled right around London. I went to the Black Forest. I went to, you name all the forests around London. And all this Salisbury Plain was massive. We go through Salisbury Plain. The first place I went with the army was Ireland. I went to Ireland. And then I became a sports person. I became a runner. And you run for your company. You've got Charlie, Alpha, Bravo, the name of these company that you might be. So you compete against each other. And I became an athlete. So I run. I'm 100 sprinter. So we're well fed in a brethren. Because,
so you run 100 meters?
I'm going to ask my fast, listen to me, brethren. My fast, In my old age, I'm fast still, Run fast, yeah, man. So
I run 100 meters.
Yeah?
I used to run 100 meters and 200 meters.
I used to run 100 and 200. Yeah. My fastest time was 10.6 something. Was my fastest time when I was used to run. And yeah, I used to have medal at home. When we get from in the army. I have medal, me run. And, yeah, I have a medal, I'm still there. Running medal. During that period of time, as a sports person in the army, you don't do nothing else. You just train with that season, and you eat, drink, and just lay down and put up your foot. You don't do nothing else. So my first outside of London in the army was Ireland. And I stayed about 2 months in Ireland. And then came back. We went to Cyprus. From Cyprus, we went to Portugal. Then from Portugal...
So Britain's got bases in all these places?
We went and they got, we went bases on exchange. And from Portugal, we came back. And my longest stay was in Germany. I stayed nearly 2 years in Germany. So in the Black Forest and the Rhine, we rode by the water upon the Rhine, and the Black Forest, we inside there, so living in the Black Forest. That was okay. I personally, I would have rather living in Germany than living in England.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. The houses in Germany were much warmer than the houses in England. And the time I stayed in Germany, I never have no toilet in a Germany where the toilet was outside and the door was 6 foot off of the ground. So, and to me, the German people were much more honest than British people. I remember I went into a bar once when I was in Germany, and a German man come and said, "I don't like you." He said, "I'd rather not stand beside you, I don't like you." Whereby the Englishman would tell him like you and I poke you in the back. He will laugh with you. But I'd rather you be honest with me and tell me say you don't like me than the laugh with me and you don't like me.
Well, when I remember the last time I went to Germany, this was, I think I need to do a bloody interview, man. We had a big fight in the pub, but that's a whole nother story.
All right, yes. I did have a fight. So those were my experiences.
Did you ever get discipline in the army?
I get disciplined a lot. Yes, I got discipline. I'm left, right. I was locked. In the army, there's a word that the army use. And out here, you can define it in two different ways. You've got character. Now, if you look in the dictionary, we can define you as a good character or a bad character. If someone says to you in the army that you're a character, you're a bad person. And they always see me as a character. And that was so, whenever time an officer see me, and a yard me come from in the bedroom, so me I get the yard style. And when you see an officer, you're supposed to salute the officer. I mean, non-commissioned officer, you don't have to salute them. A sergeant, you don't have to salute. 002, you don't have to salute. A corporal, you don't have to salute. But anyone who have one little star upon his shoulder, or you call it a pip, you have to salute them. And I will see an officer coming towards me. And when you see him coming towards you, you have to salute him. And the first thing I always do, he will call me, and I just walk past him and say, "Come here, soldier. What is it you're supposed to do?" And I said, "Huh? What is it supposed to do when you pass a officer? What you supposed to do?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "You salute." I said, "Yeah." Some said, "Are you going to salute?" So what I do know, you're supposed to have your hand an inch over your eye. And my hand always cover my eyes. And sometimes he will up, put my hand up, so my hand fall down back. And there are times when you see them coming and you don't salute. Any non-commissioned officer, like a corporal, who know me and see me, if they're standing in a barrack room and then see me and I see an officer, them disappear, them run. Because they don't want to lock me up. Because the officer is going to call one of them now to come and lock I up. And sometimes what I do is I see an officer come in, I take off my berry and start putting my belt. He said, "What are you doing that for?" I say, "You're going to lock me up." So what they used to do, they used to put me in the guard room and lock I down in the guard room. Yes. Oh man, me stay in the guard room. Me used to have a cell in the guard room, brethren. If me go to the guard room, I say, "I might sell that in the brethren. Come out to the cell."
So you travel around the world and things like that?
Well, those are the places. As I'm saying, I've been to Portugal, Ireland, Cyprus, Belize, and Germany. Those are the 5 places.
How long did you stay in the army?
Gus, nearly 10 years.
You must have love it.
It's not one I've loved it. You get seasoned. After a while, you get seasoned into, we call it, condition. You get conditioned into something, into the unknown.
Did you suffer any racism in there?
That's what I'm saying. The army always try their best, so you don't see it. Racism is there, but it's subtle. And then what happened, as a squaddy, all of the black soldiers always stick together. Even if you're in the same company or you're from different company, you always cling together. And so when you go to, for example, you go to the NAFI. The NAFI is a place you can buy your food, and you go to this the canteen. You always sit at a particular area. No white soldier doesn't sit in the area that the black soldiers sit in. So we actually segregate ourselves from them. And any black soldier, any white soldier come and sit with us, he have to ask permission, "Can I come and sit beside you?" And they will say, "Oh, can I come and sit here?" I say, "Sit there, man." And so we say, "No, him sit down on a chair and so your colleague is an virgin that belong to someone. And him not sit down and move." The best time of the army is like this time come to the year now, like first month. First month is when all the officers, you go to the dining room and them have them first month dinner. And all the officers know, them have to come and feed you. They say, "Come here, boy." Oh, that's the time you boss them. Because listen, we take the pee out of officers when it comes to that time. We call them.
That time then you lot in charge of the office, just for that moment?
Just for that day. You call them and say, "Come here, you don't get no food. Anything you want. You have life. Anything you want." You say, "Come and bring me that." I said, "I don't want that. Take it back."
In tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show. And this show is sponsored by ADE Photographic Services, 48 to 50 Rye Lane, Peckham, Southeast 15 5BY. The best in printing. Although through lockdown nothing go on, but you still can call them still, you know, because something can go on a mobile front. See, if you want a t-shirt printed or you want your hat printed with anything you want on it. You know, make your business cards, your letterheads, etc. Check them out. 07930875012. That's 07930875012. That's how to speak to Delani, and he will epic with all the things. So, Chief, we're coming on to
Yes, my bed is calling me.
Yeah, my bed call me too. So you can't go your bed without me. Well, I don't mean it like
no, not together, not together.
Yeah. So, Chief, you're in the army, and you stay there for this length of time. Why did you decide to come out? It seems like you're having a good time.
I came out of the army. My wife, because we got married. I got married when I was 18. I got married. I met my wife.
Didn't you?
I met my wife in the army. I met my wife in the army. You know, because you've got colleagues, you've got friends, and my wife. I had a friend. He's in Jamaica now. He had his girlfriend, and women always follow each other, and his girlfriend had a friend. She came in. He was my best friend, and so she was introduced to me, and we got married. And I didn't spend no honeymoon. I'm not one of those people who spend honeymoon. Not because I didn't want to, because I was married this Saturday.
It sounded like you get married more than once.
No, well, I was married. Yes, I was married on a Saturday. I was married on a Saturday. Yeah. On a Sunday, I was flying out to Germany. So we never have no holiday as honeymoon together. But that lasts for 14 years. That marriage lasted 14 years.
And how many children did you have with her?
We had 3 children together.
3?
3 children. You know, we grew out of love for each other. Today we still get on. Today we still talk to each other. You know, once I said, why didn't you get back to her? There are too many water under the bridge. You'd have to go and tie up too much knots to an open knot and to start all over again, and then you might unwind something you don't want to unwind, which create more problems. So we just keep it civil. With the 3 children that we have together, which I've said many a times. My eldest daughter with her she's a doctor. My second daughter with her, she's a chemical engineer. And my son is an accountant with her. So the 3 children that we have together, they reach a stage in life where I can say I give thanks. And I have other children. Because I'm not going to be afraid to say the truth. I've got 12 children.
12?
I've got 12 children. I've got 2 boys and 10 girls. You know, and all my children, they have done very well. They have done very well, and I give thanks. I never have any
12 children?
Yes.
With how many different women?
Well, you know, you got too deep, man. The Rastafari.
No, we want the scandal.
Well,
give me.
No. May I keep that right where it is?
No.
I'm keeping that where it is.
How many?
I'm not going to tell you that.
12 children.
I'm not going to tell you that. Well, I'm not going to say that.
Chief.
No. Chief going to hold that back. I won't be telling you that. But I've got 12 children. I'm going to keep that back.
You got 12 children.
12 children.
With 8 different women.
You can work that out. You can.
So what's the ages of your children?
My eldest daughter is coming up to be 42 now. 41. She's 41. And the youngest child is 2.
You heard it here live. 12 children. You're bad, Chief. Man, you come in like my father.
I don't think so. What this you see, I'm a chief. So it's
No. You wasn't a chief.
Then
When you had the 12 children?
No. I wasn't.
Yeah, maybe you was a chief when you had the 2-year-old.
Maybe.
No, you wasn't. No, you was.
I was.
You was chief when you had the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So, moving on quickly. I'm gonna have to bring you back in, Chief.
I don't know if I've got the time to spend all this time.
I'm gonna have to bring you back in again. But so you come out. You got married.
Yeah.
You've been 14 years with that sister, and then you dash her away.
If you want to put it like that.
You're 14 years with that sister, and then you divorced. Was it because you just got used to each other?
That's how we grow out of love. We grow out of love for each other. It reached a stage where she wanted more out of life. In a sense, she was working for the BBC, in the BBC news department. So she was a very intelligent woman. And as I said, I was out of the army. I wasn't really. I tried to do a business. I tried to do a garage business. I had a friend of mine who was in the army together, and we were going to the car auction, buying bits and pieces. We had the two first children at the time, and she wanted a different career. She said she wanted to become a nurse, and so she wanted to leave the BBC, and she started to train to become a nurse, and so she went back to college. And that kind of really threw the relationship, because she now started to do college work, and it brings strain on the relationship, because the garage wasn't really bringing in enough money to run the household. And so I started a job, started to become a driving instructor with BSM. So she now started to work at night, and I'm working in the day. So we never see each other. So I'm going to work in the morning, she's coming in from the night.
The children, then?
Well, that was one of those situations that children come. It's like a second and children came.
The point I was trying to make is that we never see each other.
We never see each other.
So only see each other if we make children.
Things
we
happen.
Never see each other.
Maybe we hide and do it.
Concept.
Oh, what do you do, man? It does happen at times. It does happen at times.
So okay, that happens when you divorce. But you said when you came out of the army that you got a job on a hospital radio station.
Yes, I got a job on a hospital radio station. What happened? The Voice newspaper used to be in Brixton, and they used to come out with ads and bits and pieces. And and she was the one who said to me, "You would like to become a DJ?" And she said, "Oh, King's College Hospital is advertising for radio presenter." And I said, "Wow, yes." And so I cut out the ad paper, took it down to College Hospital, because they tell you the time, and I went there. And that time, King's College Hospital, they used to have that pipe thing that people used to have, these plastic thing they put in the ears. And they wanted to get rid of those. I don't know if you remember those things in the hospital. There was no hospital radio at the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hospital radio used to come, one system in the hospital. Everybody hear the same one thing. You couldn't tune anything. And so they wanted to change out that system to put FM into the hospital. So they were setting up the hospital radio into the system. And so they were looking for presenters to come in. And I went in, and they'd have the BBC who came and started to train us to become radio presenters and all of that. And so I became a radio presenter. So I would be in the BBC, I would be there. And then before you become a radio presenter, you have to join the NHS team to sell bits and pieces. So we used to sell cups and badges. We have to stand at the hospital door and outside and sell all of these things, dish towel and all of these things for the hospital trust. You have to do all of these things. So I did that for a while, did that for about 2 months before they allowed me to actually come in and start to actually handle the proper studio. And then I became a radio presenter. That was where I met Mama Margaret. Mama Margaret was a nurse, a matron on the ward. And I met Mama Margaret at the hospital. Because I used to go on the ward and take requests from patients and go and look
and
for...
And then you go back and then you go
and play the music, and they allow us to...
because you know I want people to call in. So oh, you did end up get involved in Galaxy.
What happened? I don't know if you remember a brother called Bank Manager.
No.
Right, we had a friend called Bank Manager who knew that I was in Kings, and he wasn't living far from me. And we were talking one day, and he says to me, listen, Bridget set up a radio station, you know, Bridget named James. He had 2 pubs, the Golden Anchor, and another pub, the Montpelier pub he used to run. And he said, I want to set up a station called Galaxy. You know. So I said, all right. He said, you want to be a DJ? So I said, yeah. So when I went there, I realized, well, then nothing wasn't up and running. The name was there, and they wanted engineer in a sense. So I was the one who started to climb the building, and I started to do the electrical work, set up bits and pieces, the mixers and all of that was my work. And so we got busted. And after we got busted 2 or 3 times. And the DTI came, take away the bits and pieces. The brother who owned the station, with the name of James, it was him and a European woman who was living together. He had a European wife. And the station went off the air. And Fat Larry, I don't know if you know Fat Larry.
Yeah, Mama know Fat
Right,
Larry.
So Fat Larry was there, and he had Fat Larry.
I'm a relative, you know.
That's it. Fat Larry used to work in the pub. Because Fat Larry used to play the music in the pub.
Okay.
And so you have him. Right, right, something went wrong. It's okay. You put it on pause. Okay, as you actually yes, so Fat Larry and Back Manager. So the brother came as the station was up the air. The brother came and he said, I know you don't celebrate Christmas. And he gave Fat Larry what he have to give Fat Larry. Give Banky what he want to give back Mali. He was a Grenadian by the name of James, and he was going to go back to Grenada.
Oh, I see.
And he says to me, you drive? And I said, yes. He said, take your car on the side of the door and open the car. I'll soon come. So I went to the side and opened the car door. And him come with 2 turntables. He come with a mixer. He come with just about everything you need in a radio station. And he gave me a transmitter. He said, this is not working. But if you can get it going, I'm putting it into your hand. Of all the people that was there, he said, I'm putting this into your hand. And I said, you're putting it in my hand? He said, yes. And I take that on. It was 1982. He put that into my hand. My ex-wife and I had a partner. And until this day, my ex-wife don't know what me do with the partner draw. Me get £500 for the partner draw, brethren. And me take the partner, the £500. Up to now, me and she not talk about the money there. And me take that £500 and go and fix the transmitter. And fix the transmitter. And that was the birth, the rebirth of Galaxy, the way Galaxy is today.
So, you know, Galaxy has been going for a number of years. And
Since 1984.
And I met you, this is how I met you, look, because I was on Power Jam.
Yes.
You know, we're doing the work. And, But when I met you, you weren't a chief.
No, I weren't a chief.
You were just a man playing music.
So was it, yes. I was introduced to Africa.
I want to go through the changes here.
Right.
Because we're coming, you know, it's 10 past 11. So do you mind me saying the names?
No, I don't mind.
When I met you, you were called Rennie
Dunn. Yes, that's correct.
And so who was Rennie Dunn?
Rennie Dunn was the person because my European name was Rennie. Stroke from Jamaica was Rennie. And just had the Dan to it. Because, you know, those days you always had something to your name, or you change your name to something else. I didn't really change my name. I used my name, that was me, from my family know me for that name from then. And I just had the Dan to it. And that was where the Rennie Dan came in.
So you're Rennie Dunn. And I remember meeting you those days. You weren't interested in Africa at all, mate. You weren't on the Africa tip, really.
I was, but I don't think I was as deep culturally in my African. I wasn't together as much as I am now. But then I was always talking about Africa. And I remember because the first time I went to Africa was 2000. It was the first time I went to Africa. And the person who introduced me to Africa was Sister Naya. And Sister Naya was here in Galaxy. And Sister Naya came and she said, Bertrand, you know, I'm going to Africa and you're talking about Africa. I want you to come and meet the place that you've been talking about. And I said, I'm not ready yet, you know. I remember one time she came and she said, Bertrand, me now look here, you know. She come out with a raw. She said, Bertrand, me now look here, you know. I said, you say, you want to come to Africa, come see what Africa is all about. And I said, you know, I said, which part of Africa? She said, Ghana. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And that was my introduction into Africa.
I remember when you first went to Africa.
Okay.
In 2000. You came back.
Yes.
And you cussed off Africa.
I don't know. I didn't cuss it off. I just say what I saw.
To the show.
Yes. I just say what I saw and how Africa could be better than what it was at that time. From
like you was cussing it.
From what I saw, because
you said me never go out there again and this and that. Them do this, them do that. They asked that on the cow fat.
And I was annoyed, yes, because what I was expecting is not what I saw, and so I was only. It's like coming back from the first time I went to Sierra Leone and what I saw, because I made a film in Sierra Leone that was on BBC, Sky, you name it, how to steal from an African, and I was part of that. So I started getting more Afrocentric, if you want to look at that, because I then get to like the place. And Sister Naya says to me, you know, now you're in the place, what are your intentions? What do you want to do? How can you make it better? Because you've been knocking it now. How can we make the changes to bring it forward to how you want to see Africa? And she said, okay, why don't we do a business? And I said, okay, what business? And she said, I want to, I've got some sewing machine. Can we add to it? We end up having about 16 or 18 sewing machine. Sorry. We had about 4 big industrial machine. And we rent a place. And we rent the place and we have about 5, 6 young people. We go to Accra, we buy the cloth, give it to them, and for them to start. We start to make clothes. We start to make clothes. And, you know, when we went to Barbados, all them clothes we wear, those were from our business that we had.
Is it?
Yes, that was from the business.
So
we used to, the first thing I did was when I came back.
Because the clothes you was wearing, they were atrocious.
They were so beautiful. They were so beautiful. You wanted to take my shirt them. You wanted to take every time you see my shirt, you said, Virgin, I'm a one, you know. I tell you, when you didn't put on so much weight.
So you did that business.
Yes.
And then you changed from Rennie Dunn.
Before we did that, we went into that business. And so during the period of time before I changed from Rennie Dunn, the sister said, look, why don't we add to the business? We decided to buy some cab. We buy 2 taxi. Now you can ask me.
So you're running when you go there.
Yes.
When you come back, you're Bonga Tete.
That was the 3rd time. That was the 3rd time after I went there.
You turned Bonga Tete.
I turned Bonga Tete. Then I was initiated into that name. And that name was given to me through the initiation I had with Bonga Tete. Totally different from the type of initiation to become a chief. There's a different initiation. But the name change into Bonga Tete was an initiation to change into that name. And that name was given to me by the Krobo chief. That name was actually imparted on me.
And then, you know, you're Bonga Tete for a while. And then, all of a sudden, you become chief.
It's not all of a sudden.
No, I'm just saying because of time.
Yes.
You
Well,
know, we're going to come back to that.
Yes. The change now. Then I actually met Brother Abram. And Brother Abram introduced me into Sierra Leone. And so I started to make the move into Sierra Leone. Going to Sierra Leone, and then Brother Abram took me into a village, and I started to assist a school. a sister basic school, then a primary school, the Marcus Garvey Secondary School up here. And I became one of the patrons to the school. And then I was introduced to become a patron, asked for my name now. No, I was asked to support the basic school. And I started to support the basic school. Then a disabled organization that I saw.
The basic school, where is that? In Ghana?
In Sierra Leone. In the both school is in Sierra Leone. And then I was introduced into a disabled organization. And they want me to be one of the patrons in the disabled organization. And so I start work with that charity and support the schools and the disabled organization. And so one day, Brother Abraham and I went to one of the schools, and we came back from the school after I've been going to Sierra Leone for going into the 4th year. And Brother Abraham came to me and he says to me, the paramount chief would like to speak to you. And I says to him, he says to me, Bongo, he said, what have you done? I said, what do you mean, what have you done? He said, the paramount chief would like to speak to you. And I says to him, I haven't done anything. He said, the only time the paramount chief want to speak to you, if you have done something. So I said, I haven't done anything. I said, I've been here, wherever I go, you are there, and I live at your house. So what is it I could have done? He said, what are you doing now? I said, I'm not doing anything. He said, there's no other time is as good as now to go and meet the paramount chief. I said, okay, let's go. Jump in his car, went to the paramount chief. The paramount chief said, there's a lady that would like to speak to you. And she come from very far. She come from at least 150 miles to speak to you. He said, what are you doing now? So I said, I'm not doing. He said, let's go and meet this lady because she come to speak to you. And I become a little bit scared because someone come from 150 miles to come and see me that I don't know. Who is this person? And I went and says to me,
what visit was that? Was it your first?
That was the 4th time. That's the 4th time. That's fourth visit. And I said, walk into a room, went up the stairs, and knock on the door, speak in the Timni language, and the door was open. And I walk in, and I saw a very old lady. She was sitting down on the bed, looking straight at the door, with her feet hanging on the floor. And all 3 of us, Brother Abraham, the paramount chief, and myself, walk in. And as we walked inside, they closed the door behind him. And he says to me, this lady, I've come to see you. She's got a gift, and you are the one that the gift is for. And the lady looked me, she gave me a look. She just looked me from my toe to the top of my head, and from my head down. She just looked me up and down like this. And then she waved her hand to the chief like this. And she said, take him away, he's clean. Just like that. And I nothing more was said to me. We turned and went outside. And the chief looked at me and says to me, would you like to become a chief? Yeah, you remember, brother? And I said, I don't know. He said, that's why the lady is here to see you. Because she's got a gift that you're supposed to become a chief. And that's what she's here for. I said, well, if so be it, let it be. I have no choice. Because if that's gift supposed to hand it down to me, that is what I have to take. And that was the start of me becoming the chief. The next process was start to make preparation for me to go into the bush. And I went into, the next year I went, I was put into the bush for 14 days. Now that was scary. There are part of the ceremony I can speak about, and there are part of it I cannot talk about. Right? If you get what I'm saying. But as you said, you want to talk about it another time, so maybe another time we can actually...
Well, I don't know people. I know that people's been getting problems getting through to the station. So here we're going to do. We're not putting up the lines. We got I'm going to give you about 15 minutes, and then the chief is going to have to go. The number is 0207 193 0174. If you want to ask the chief a question, about, what you heard tonight. And chief,
Go on.
I got a cousin,
Mm-hmm.
yeah? And you look exactly like him. Him short like you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same way he wears his beard. I just looked on the screen,
Uh-huh.
and I realized my cousin, his name Clive.
Okay. Well, Dr. Habu will tell you that I went to Ghana, and I saw a brother there. Because even when I went to Ghana, I've got 20 acres of land in Ghana. It was given to me. That's how blessed I am. I've got so much land in Jamaica that... And here it is, I go to Ghana, and a brother came and said, he liked me in such a way that he said, there's something about you, he said. But I've got something for you. I've got a gift for you. I've got 20 acres of land. It's yours. And that brother, if you take my head off my body and stick it on his body, you can't tell the difference between himself and I. Even Dr. Abu, who have been to Ghana and came back and said, Chief, I saw you look alike. There's no difference between you two. So that's the way things are, my brother. Right. As you're going to finish.
Is this thing open now?
Yes, it's open. It's open.
0207 193 0174. If you want to ask the chief, or you can send in a text on 073 779 20703. Yes, we're having an interview with Chief Prokumbabai. So you become a chief, but tell us a bit about that. While we wait for somebody to call, tell me some about the name Prokumbabai, Chief Prokumbabai.
Prokumbabai. It means father of all chiefs.
So you're father of
of all chiefs.
In Sierra Leone.
In Sierra Leone. It's and my name at the moment, and one of the things that's happening, I meant to be training as a ceremonial chief. So my chiefdom is very high. It's not an ordinary chief, whereby my training is to train where I'll be able to marry somebody. I'll be able to put someone to rest. So if someone passed away, I'll be able to preside over that person on burial. And to cap it all, my name is not only Chief Prokumbabai. My name is Balagun Chief Prokumbabai London the First. I am the first stroke African Rastaman that have actually become a chief in Sierra Leone. So I have made history in Sierra Leone. And on top of that,
but why Sierra Leone? You went to Ghana and that. How did you end up in Sierra Leone?
I told you I met Brother Abram, and Brother Abram introduced me to Sierra Leone. And so, but I have got...
Did you meet Brother Abram here?
I met Brother Abram here.
Brother Kamara.
Yeah. I met him here, and he come to Galaxy, and we became good friends. And so he said, you need to come and see what Sierra Leone... And I get drawn into Sierra Leone in a way that... And it'll show you how the ancestral spirit work. Because look how many times I've been to Ghana, and I don't get the same feeling that I've had. I've been to Togo. I didn't have that feeling when I went to Togo. So I went to Guinea-Bissau, and I didn't have that feeling when I went to Guinea-Bissau. So whatever Sierra Leone have, the ancestral spirit.
Maybe that's where your ancestors actually come from, that area.
Then that's what they said.
You know what I mean?
That's what they said. You see, and that's one of the reasons why that sister, they in the district, in Porto Loco district, those people knew that I was going to become a chief before I even know myself. And I'll tell you why I realized what was happening. When I got there, the place just become full of people. There were so many people. But I thought that because it's a compound where the chief lives, So many people come to congregate. But there was an announcement that they were going to be a chief. And they see me now. People who have never seen me before. They come to see this person that the announcement was made that they were going to be a chief. And so these people knew before I knew that I was going to become a chief. My brother, look, time is running.
25 past.
And so what I'm going to do,
Of 11.
I'm going to just leave you to finish.
Khadija, baby girl, queen, hold tight. It's 25 past 11.
So my bed is calling me.
Lin, hold tight. And your bed is calling. And my bed I call me to chief. Yeah, but you have to stay here with me. Hold on there.
Kwaku, I'm a driver. I'm a lorry driver. And I cannot stay. I have to have X amount of sleep.
All right. Yes,
right?
we know. Hold on. One more thing about the chief thing. So you become chief of chiefs in Sierra Leone?
Yes. Father of all chiefs.
chief.
Father of all chiefs.
In the whole of Sierra Leone?
Yes. The father of all chiefs.
How did it come by that you become chief of chiefs?
Because of the name. And that's what I'm saying to you. This the process. I want to give you this when you're actually, not when you're tired, because there's a lot that you need to prompt me to get out of me. It's not for me to tell you. It's for you to ask to lead me into it. Right? So on the time you might ask questions and I said, that I cannot answer than for me to lead you. So because what's been happening, it's easier for me to left bit out. And so there's a big gap than if you now should lead that type of interview so I can be able to fill the gap.
1 second, before you go, did you ever vision when you were growing up at 15 or when you came to England, when you was in the army, that you would?
Never ever. This was never even on my radar. This would have happened to me. I haven't got this faintest idea of what it would entail of becoming a chief. Never ever dawned on me. So if someone had come to me, say 15 or 10 years ago, and said, you will be a chief, how would you like that? I'd have said, no. That wouldn't be me. Because that never, as I said, that never grew on me, that I would have ever become a chief. So it's to show you how the ancestral spirit work for me now to become a chief with this journey that I've been taking, that has come through the journey. You know, I've gone through, and as I'm saying, I'd rather you go through this, because while I'm saying to you now, there's a bit that I've missed out in my life. There's part of it that I've missed out.
Yeah.
You've got a link there, right? There's bits that I've missed out. Quite a bit that I've missed out. That I haven't said to you.
Otep caller, what's the name? Where you calling from?
Voodoo.
My brother.
Eyes of the chief, you know.
Isis.
Yes, I just know, say, it's over 30 years I'm working with the chief, you know. And I know that he will rise up to be a great African, you know. So I just voodoo him all the time, you know.
Before you finish, Dr. Abu, one of the experiences that I've had, maybe you can concur with part of the experiences that I have had in the army. As Brother Kwaku have asked, part of my journey in the army, the worst part of the army for me, I don't know if it's the same for you, but the worst part of the army for me was the gas chamber. Would you agree or disagree?
True, man. True, because in that you have to shout out gas before your mask up, isn't it?
Well, not even before the mask. When you went to the gas chamber and they actually asked your name, rank and number and kick you out of that building, that's the part I'm talking.
You have to go for all a jog.
That's how I explained to him. So your body got to be fit and you perspire so your pores are open before you go into the gas chamber.
Serious things, my chief. And you forgot I was there when they drop off of the roof.
Well, that's what I'm saying to Brother Kwaku. There's bits and pieces that are missing out that he hasn't really pumped me into. So he would have to be actually more aware of the type of interview so all of these come out, because there are gap that is missing.
Maybe if you send me a bio.
Wally thing and
I will talk to you.
They would make the runway out of Westminster Abbey, you remember?
Very much so, my brother. Westminster Abbey at the Jamaican Embassy.
I will place.
Very much so, my brother. So we have gone through the rope as a colleague from the army, my brother.
Serious thing, blood. Serious thing.
Give thanks.
Anna, my chief. Give thanks.
Isis.
Anna, doctor.
Anna, all the time.
Otep. Yes, brother Omar. Otep.
Rise up. Give thanks.
Yes. Is there a question you got for the chief?
Yeah, man, rise up. Well, I want to take this time, my brother, to really rise up the chief because, as a brother that came on Galaxy, I'm listening to Galaxy for the last 3 years, I've been on Galaxy this year, and seeing the great platform that he has pursued and created and fight for, over the years, no matter what's going on. I just want to rise him up for his steadfastness and his strength and his ability to believe in himself and believe in Galaxy, where I am a part of now, and I've learned so much since a few months ago. I really want to rise up the chief for being such a great person as he is.
Give thanks, my brother.
Give thanks, brother Omar.
Give thanks.
But you have to open up your mouth a bit more, brother Omar. Cause even when I listen to your show, I can't hear you because you have a sweet voice, too soft.
Wait, my voice too soft?
Yeah, you have to rise up your voice, man. Put some bass up in your voice so we can hear you.
Sometimes when I talk to the female, my voice get a bit soft, but we don't put in the bass still. But yeah, man, give thanks for the energy, my brother. But as I say, it's one of the greatest from the time I've been on this earth. It's one of the greatest family I've come across where uplift me in so much spiritual, mental way. I'm a journey right now, and I'm taking it to a level to even take the decision to a higher level. So I just want to really rise up a chief. To stand as a commander on the ship and carry the Galaxy to where it is over these years. Really have to rise him up.
Give thanks, brother.
But I will take that on board and put a little bit more bass in the voice,
Right. All right, then give thanks, yeah?
Yeah, but more strength, more power.
Chief, I have a question.
More strength, more energy.
Anna. Ashe. 0207 193 0174. I've got literally about another 5 minutes with the chief. Or 073 7792 0703 if you want to send a question. I've got a question there, Chief. It said, please ask the chief if he will retire to Sierra Leone, Africa. Thanks.
Yes, that's my intention. And that's what I'm saying, Brother Kwaku. And I've said it before. I have actually put together my something that we don't talk about. I'm going to answer the question. Something that we don't talk about. I spoke about this, tell you about my uncle who had his funeral parlor in Birmingham. He has passed on now. But something that we don't plan for is our funeral. We don't plan for that. And I have actually opened a scheme now. If anything should happen to me, my body cannot bury in England. My body got to be taken back to Sierra Leone. My body cannot take to Jamaica where I was born. My body have to go back to Sierra Leone. It's either my body go back to Sierra Leone, and if my body is cremated here, then actually they will automatically have to take the ash back to Sierra Leone. But preferably, my body will have to go back to Sierra Leone.
Brother Carl, Otep.
Yes, Otep, Prophet, rise up and rise up to the chief himself, the big man, rise up Dr. Abu and Sister Madge, and yes, rise up to the whole Galaxy family. And, it's not so much a question, but it's just a huge, massive thank you to the chief that I want to say. I just heard from Dr. Abu, it's over 30 years, but it's 22 of those years. The time seems to have gone so quick.
Yeah, it does,
Time flies.
Indeed.
Time flies, Yeah.
Indeed. 22 years ago, you invited me onto that beautiful, beautiful platform, which you had the vision to create for the community, for the people, and has kept it amongst all yourselves, not amongst yourselves, through all your efforts and so on. You've kept that going, and just want to say a huge, massive thank you, because that platform which you presented me with, in order to reach out to the community, and the community has just been really wonderful ever since. And as you know, I'm not changing the subject, but I have to give thanks because it is as a result of what you did, Chief, 22 years ago, that to just in a few days' time, we're finally reached that journey where we've been fighting to get to, at least. So we've as a result of coming on there, we are now able to be taking the government to court, and that's massive. That's absolutely massive. So we give thanks every time for that, and just rise up yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Give thanks, Brother Carl.
Respect every time.
Let me see if there's any questions on the Fiesta book.
Right,
no, come we shut it down early. Okay, shut it down early so people must have
I see something jump up there.
Chief. Hotep Cooler, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Hotep Prophet, Brother Jeff.
Brother Jeff.
Black Pride, straight. Yes, sir. And the Chief, you saw the Chief of Cumber Boy.
Brother Jeff, my brother.
Yes, sir. Brother Chief, you're inspiring story. I mean, you're inspiring of your strength, your tenacity. I have to give you my respect to you and for what you've undergone in the last few decades. Yeah, the Shegras you've endured, the Shegras you've endured, it's not been easy, but you've survived it, and you've come through, you've prospered, and we're proud of you. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you.
That's what I can say, Butcher. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Your strength, your vision, your leadership for these dark times, man. We'll get there, Chief. We'll get there. I mean,
we will, my brother. By the grace, yes, we will.
No choice.
Thank you.
That's what I'll say. But Prophet, take it out. We'll see you on the we can. Both of you. Blessings to the family.
Give thanks.
Give thanks. Give thanks.
Hotep.
It says, the wise see the need and provide. Giving a voice to the voiceless makes us all fit in and remain independent. You deserve my salute. Muta Kilimanjaro.
Give thanks, my brother Kilimanjaro. I appreciate the word of wisdom, my brother. Thank you very much.
One more, Chief.
Yes.
Enough memories, Chief. I felt the same way as Chief when I arrived in England, especially the outdoor tiles. Rise Up Galaxy. Another brilliant unsung hero show, Prophet Kwaku. Give thanks. Bless up. Yeah, go on, Chief.
It shows you how the ancestral work in a mysterious way. It's just by chance I met Dr. Abu. By chance.
No, see, stop there.
Yes.
You're a chief.
Yes.
You've been ordained a chief of chiefs. Mm-hmm. That's a serious title.
It is very much a very serious title.
When I met you, you weren't on that road.
No.
You understand? I've seen you, Kepra, in ancient Kemetic. What you've done is Kepra, is you've changed, is a rebirth.
Yes.
That's where they get the concept of born again Christian from. And I've seen you, Kepra, a few times. And to Chief, if Rennie Dunn was saying that to me, I'd have accepted that statement.
Right.
If Bonga Tete was saying that to me, I might have accepted that statement. But Chief Prokombabai said that to me. I don't accept that statement.
Right.
Because where you are now, when you Sankofa and look back, it wasn't by chance.
It had to happen.
Listen, Chief, you were destined.
Yes, destined. Yes, indeed. It was ordained to happen. Yes, destined.
It was your destiny.
Yes. And I take that on. I take that on board. Yes,
it was your destiny.
The destiny to happen. Yes, and as I said many times, and there are plenty of people with disregard that word, and it's a word I use many times, and people said they don't believe in destiny, and I said I do believe in destiny. So, in you actually reaffirm that word, it encouraged me more, not to go back for the negative, but to bring the forward with the positive.
You know, Chief, it's interesting. Because our paths are very similar. And we're born in the same month, rule under the same star.
So them say yes, balance.
And maybe that's why we couldn't get on in the
We have certain temper. We have a little bit of temper.
We follow.
Yes.
But the journey that I've observed you on your journey is beautiful.
Give thanks.
To see somebody who wasn't even thinking in that arena, and how you've grown into that status that you find it, or into that African self that you found yourself, you know, and it reflects on the station, you know. When I was on Power Jam, I was always complaining about the whole heap of music. When I was on the Rock, I did the same thing. You know, when I went on Power Extra, I did the same thing. But I like the blend that we have here at Galaxy. We have a lot of good talk shows.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And we need to talk. And one of the things that annoy me, excuse me, one of the things that annoy me is when I hear people say,
too much talk.
Too much talk. But the very same people sit down and watch LBC, listen to LBC.
There you go.
They don't tell them it's too much talk.
No.
But they're telling us
it's too much talk. Yes.
You have to speak. Because our mouths were shut for 500 years. So we have a whole heap of talking.
A lot of things, a lot of talking coming out. You know, when I incite, and I remember when I said to Dr. Abu, I said, you know, I want to make some change, you know, because Galaxy used to advertise, you know. We used to advertise, and we decided, and I said, no, I'm going to stop advertising. I want to do...
Hold on there, brother Ade, let the chief finish.
I want to do some talk. I said, we don't talk. And I want to have Galaxy to talk. I said, we want to talk. So let's try and see if we can enhance. I said, there are many other stations out there who are playing music. Why don't we be different? And so this is some of the transitional change that we have made to where it's at now.
I share you, Chief. Go on, brother Ade. Otep.
Yes, Kwaku. You good?
I'm tired, man. But I'm good with the chief.
You need to take some scar juice, you know, to boost you up. You need some scar juice inside you.
I need to get some sleep. That's what I need to do. I've been up since 4 this morning.
Yeah, well, you know. So how is Chief Balogun? Is that Chief Balogun talking?
My beloved brother, you know, and you know, this is one brother that he always, he get to know my name, he always called me Chief Balogun. He always, and I respect this brother to the hilt. You know, so I like Brother Ade. When no one else, you know, when people are trying to call me Chief, but he always said Chief Balogun. And I respect that. Brother Ade, more strength to you, my brother.
We feel the same as Balogun.
No, because I mean, in Yoruba, the name Balogun is a big name. You know, it's a clan. You know,
it's a clan, Nigerian.
Balogun, you know, it's a popular name generally. It's a clanship name, but it's also a name. You know, and it's related to it's somebody who's a noble, someone who's titled. You know.
Right.
You know, so it's all good. It's all good. You know, so.
Thank you, Brother Ade.
Yeah. Okay.
More strength to you.
Give thanks, Brother Ade.
Okay, then. Thank you, Brother Che.
Thank you.
Odabo. Here's something. SG Vibe says, "Aid up, Kwaku. Rise up to the Chief Procumber by for sharing your life's journey. Truly an honor to be a part of the eye's vision."
Give thanks, family.
Ashe.
Give thanks.
And,
more strength to the eye. More strength.
Rising's Prophet. I probably missed it, but can you please ask the Chief when and where he got his previous name Tete from, and from whom? Give thanks.
The name Tete came from Ghana. That was when that was mean the messenger returned. Bongo Tete. It come from the Tete family. That gave me that name. I got that name out of the Krobo Mountain, where my name was transitioned into that first part of Bongo Tete, where the name was changed, where I got that. And to be honest with you, when I went through that ceremony, it was that was a ceremony that it was enlightening, because it was only 3 of us as adults out of about 200 young people. You've got young boys and young girls, and all the head was bald off. Only because we're adult, why our head wasn't bald off. And we had that ceremony with the young people and myself. And so it was a blind person. It was a blind person that cut the neck of a lamb. And that was a sight for one to see in Ghana. When I saw that, and all that they did, they took the sheep and put the sheep in front of the blind man, and he hold the sheep, put all onto the sheep neck, put the sheep between his legs, and he fold the sheep down and put the sheep. There's a shrine where the blood is bled into the shrine, and he cut the neck. And to see a blind person done that, it's magical. That is magical.
Brother Kwame,
mute his phone. Unmute your phone.
Yes.
and to say,
Boko. Greetings to yourself and the chief, Nana.
My brother.
We have to advise you for the great work you've done for the community, for Galaxy. I just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions.
Go on.
One, do you think that the black media per se in the UK has failed the black community? And two, where do you see Galaxy in 10 years' time?
And this is a question that I'm no. Galaxy is not a stationary beacon. Galaxy is transitioning, it's moving. But I want to see Galaxy in the next light, where the young people can take it as that medium that they can use to express, as you've got other medium that can be known around the world. And that is the direction I want to see Galaxy.
Okay.
The black media here, I don't think the black media, as they're not supportive as they should. Because what has happened to me, what I see is the black media is entwined in whiteness. They're not pure as they should. And I think because of that, it disables us. So we don't get to expand as we should. So we can bring our enlightenment that we'd like to bring forward. Because if we're afraid to say certain things because we don't want to upset the other side of people who are among us.
Well, I think the so-called black media. We are black media.
We are black media per se. Yes,
we're not afraid to say what we want to say. I think maybe the question might need to be rephrased a bit differently.
No. I mean, what I mean by that is because obviously you got for example, in Nottingham you've got like Kem FM in Nottingham.
Okay.
Which out of its, I think 96 hours of program a week, only has 2 hours for talk back. And if you look at other parts of the country, be it Leicester, where we are in numbers, you look at Leeds, Sheffield, Huddersfield, Manchester, Diamond, there isn't really progression within our media. And you even said yourself, when you work for particular rock, there's times when I listen to the rock, it's just music all the way. So that's why I asked that question, is that has the black media per se failed the black community by not, being prepared to talk about issues like Galaxy does?
You want to answer that, Chief?
It's like, let's use a reverse. Psychology do a lot. And even when Galaxy used to advertise, I remember when the station go off the air, people, my own black brother will bring me and say, "Boudrin, when are you going to bring the station back on?" And what used to happen, when we used to talk, a man said, "Boudrin, stop the talk and play the advert." So even our own used to try to keep us away from the talking that we have to put forward. So it's a big fight we are even having from our own people. So yes, I see where Brother Kwaku is coming from, but what kind of really kind of really hinder a lot of us. Advertisements stop us a lot. Because we are afraid that because we talk, people won't advertise with us. And that holds us back a lot.
You know, I'm going to add something to that, Chief.
Go on, my brother.
I think it's a lack of respect, really, to tell you the truth. As well as what Brother Kwame said, as well as what you said, in terms of fear and things like that. You know, I remember, it's funny, you know, before he died, long before he died, Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Fox was asking me to come on Lightning for years. He said, just tell me where you want to go, Kwaku. I'll stop all the ads in your show. You can come out 3-4 hours, anywhere you want. He was asking me for years. And I never took him up on it. When Mikey offered me the spot, you know, and you know, we're going to have to do another show on the spiritual thing, you know. Because when Mikey offered me that spot on The Rock, and I took it, Fox was a bit upset. And he said to me, I told you that you could have come. Why didn't you come to me? I told you that you could have come. And I said, well, you know, it's not that I just forgot. I said, I just forgot. And Mikey, he goes, well, why don't you come? And I said, boy, I can't do that. Because I'm loyal. The man gave me an opportunity where nobody else really was giving me an opportunity. You understand what I'm saying to you? And so I think the time that I spent there was necessary.
Right.
You know, it was necessary. And you know, Mikey was a beautiful person.
Yeah.
He was a beautiful person, and he's part of my libation every morning. Him and Fox. You know, so you know, I think that what it is that our people are afraid. They don't mind ringing up these other places, but because we have no bars out there, I mean, we're not cost bad word and all them, so but we slip a bit, but we don't do that. You understand me? We're quite articulate in the things that we do. Yeah? And so, you know, I think it's a bit more than that. I think we need to have another show on that. Go on, Kwame.
But you know, do you think then that, you know, there's a couple of things. So one, do you think that black media, and I have to use the term black media because obviously this media, you know, plays music that you don't hear on the mainstream. So obviously, like a lot of the stuff that Galaxy plays, Diamond FM, you know, in Manchester, Kemet in Nottingham, you know, play. That doesn't get played necessarily on commercial radio, apart from One Extra, and apart from, you know, Capital, is it Choice FM, which is now Capital Extra 1. But those two things came into force because you had stations, you know, back in the day, you had these power stations in the 80s or 90s in particular that were playing a lot of black music that mainstream media wouldn't necessarily play. So what I'm saying is that in terms of how the black media, how that has evolved since the 80s up until now, is there a feeling that the black media have now become irrelevant because it lacks a pertinent talk content? And if it is, what is the future for black media in the UK?
Right.
2 final points.
All right. Let me say this to you. Galaxy have set a precedent among community radio stations. And this is something that we can prove because this is something that we take to court. Galaxy is the first community radio station. No other station have done this. We have said that we'll never play derogatory music. That was in the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian come out and said, if a station, a commercial station like the BBC, who is playing derogatory music, and a so-called pirate station can defy from playing these music, it show you the difference between this station and the BBC, and that was in the newspaper. We even take that cutting to court to show the judge the work that we, Galaxy, was doing in the community. And we have said no other station have done that. And that was one of the mitigated evidence that we took into the court to show the court the writing that we had in the Guardian at that time. So changes can be made, but it's how we make that change and who embrace the change that we're putting forward. There are many people out there.
And the key thing, Chief, is not being afraid to change.
Exactly. That is it. And that's what I was saying to, it's like before you came, I was talking to Brother Arno. And I said, Brother Arno, there are many, we're having a cyber attack. And there are many listeners who rang us up and said they're having problem in picking up the station because our Google search engine is down. Brother Arnold said, yes, Chief, but changes got to be made and there are other places that the listeners can use to find the station. And I said, yes, I hear you. But it so happened that people get used to, for example, this type of search engine. And they won't go nowhere else unless they can find it through that engine. And he said, so it just shows you there's some people who want to make the change and some who decide not. We won't make no change. We accept what is there and that's only.
Yeah, I think and it's incumbent on us to make the people aware that there's other mediums that they can.
And that's what he was saying.
People download simple radio, then you can get Galaxy on simple radio. And for me, it's the only one that I can use now.
Zeno, you can't get Zeno.
Zeno for me on my phone is rubbish.
Yeah,
it cuts out, it sticks, and then you start sounding like a Dalek and all sorts of stuff. But on the simple radio, they put ads on, but you can hear. Look, Kwame, if you want to say the last thing is coming up to 12 o'clock, I'm going to done because I'm tired. Chief is tired.
Very much so.
Yeah, and both of our beds are calling us to come home.
I mean, the last thing that I will say is that, Chief was a visionary in setting up this station because this station fills a void that is, evident even now, let alone when Galaxy first started 30 years ago. So, I have to rise up the Chief for having the vision to actually institute something that's there. And this is what we as people need. We need our own institutions, to tell our own story the way that is because mainstream media isn't really going to tell our story and isn't really going to cater for our beliefs and opinions. And I think it's important that as a black people we have a voice, and if we don't have a voice, that's when we die as a community. So this is why we need more stations like Galaxy, and this is why Galaxy is an important force and tool in the black media in the UK. Give thanks.
Give thanks.
Give thanks, my brother.
No more calls.
Tune in option free. You go to tune in option free. We just see that face and you click onto that face. That comes up without any problem. Yeah, if you go into tune in option free, you won't have no problem with that.
I'm going to use Chief's favorite word. No more calls. No more calls.
No more calls.
Yeah, that's it. We're coming at 1 minute. There's some WhatsApp and I think there's a couple of texts. I'm going to read them out, and then I'm going to read them out, and then that's going to be it. And then I'm going to let the Chief say his last words. And he's a good word. I'm sorry to be yarning over the phone, but why? You see, you can't do liberation work and work same time. It don't go together.
Well, there you go.
It just doesn't go together.
There you go.
It doesn't go together. And big up Prophet and the Chief. Yard vibes, bring black enough memories. And I think that was the only one I got on the text. Yeah. Here we have it, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Oh God, I should have gone. Was it? There's I'm bad Chief. I feel it. Chief, you drop Prophet Medete, nothing he'll get. Oh, got it. Right, today. That's it. No, that's
You're going through all of those?
Yeah.
Those green one aside there.
Is it this one?
I don't know.
Please ask the Chief. Yeah. I asked the last question about retiring. Can I ask the Chief if he has a quick temper or is he a patient person. I do like listening to the chief on Friday evening. He always have a tale about his workplace, etc. Telephony. Thank you for Galaxy Afiwe. Sis V is, should say, totally funny. Sorry about the typos.
I used to have a quick temper, but through the transition, that have helped me a great deal. To look within and to fetch that I didn't activate. I know I've now activate in such a way that I can hold that temper and I can disperse it. I can disperse it.
You've got control of it now.
I've got control of it in more ways than one.
There's a lesson I taught the children in the moral philosophy class I teach at our Saturday school. I did a lesson on master yourself. Because nobody can master you.
No.
People can punish you, people can discipline you, but nobody can master you.
And that's one of the things that why they take you into the bush. They take you into the bush so you can see yourself. Because only you know who you are. But you don't know who you are until it's like you go inside and take out that you haven't seen and you look at yourself. Going into the bush, it helps you to see that person.
It helps you to see
you.
yourself.
and it's a great knowledge of experience that I would have loved everyone to see what I saw by going into the bush. It is great, and I would love my people to see that. Only a pity.
Sorry, Chief.
No, I said only a pity.
Manners, honor, respect to my lovely chief. I salute you. A real pleasure knowing that I, Sister Tafara, more strength.
Give thanks, sis.
I love the talk shows. I'd like even more. Any station can play music. We need to talk and express our views. This is the only station that allows us to do that with no restrictions. Otep Prophet Kwaku, thank you for bringing Chief to share part of this life story. Otep Chief, thank you for bringing Galaxy to our listening ears. Peace, Auntie Jean.
Give thanks, my sister.
Chief, do not allow anything to be to be an obstacle, no matter how they try to switch you off. Thank you for seeing everything as a stepping stone to victory. Muta Kilimanjaro.
My brother.
And, we want to big up Muta Kilimanjaro because we know that, he's still recovering and things like that. And we ask the ancestors to watch over him and guide him. And, while he journeys on this road to recovery.
Ashe.
Prophet Kwaku, please ask Chief if he needs a volunteer to fix up the garden. I don't know that, George. Share it with me.
I don't know what garden. You mean my garden at home? If you can do a shed, I've got a shed there. I've got a shed in my garden right now. That I bought this shed nearly 2 years. But I just can't I can't motivate myself to put the shed together. It's one of those metal shed.
Oh yeah.
And they come in small pieces. And jigsaw puzzle and I don't get on sometimes. So it's there. But someone promised me that they will come. They said to me, look, the way things are at the moment, they said to me, don't dig up the ground, because I was going to dig up the ground to pave the ground to put it down. He said to me, just get some pallet and just build it on the pallet. And at least, because you won't have to put any flooring into it, because the pallet will become the flooring. So that is what I'm going to do that. I'm going to get something.
Oh, Chief, listen, it's been a pleasure.
My brother, Brother Ayo, I've promised to do this for so long. So I'm sure it's going to be another interview like this, because Brother Ayo wanted to document this type of reasoning. So I'm sure that within the next...
we got it documented on the Facebook, and we have it documented here in our own studio.
Very much so, and Brother I will be documenting that as well. So it will be another interview from our brother Ayo.
It says nice interview. Yeah, and big up every time, my brother. That's all it says.
Give thanks. We share that. We share that together.
Yeah, that's it. Well, people, Chief, you got any last words you want to say?
All I would like to say to my brothers and sisters who are listening to us, it's a journey. And as Brother Kwame have asked, and I said, Galaxy is not a stationary beacon. We're not stationary. And we're not here to lead you to that beacon, and when you get there, you said, so where do we go from here? We all take the journey together, and this journey is not a journey that we will find diversion, but as long as we're heading for the same way as African people, being Pan-African is not easy. So I would like ones and ones just to... And one other thing that we need to look at seriously, and I just want to say this to my brothers and sisters, look at the names that you're giving your children. It's very, very important. The names that you're giving your children. Brother Kwaku, that I haven't said to you. I've said it on more than one occasion, and I think one of our sisters we had on Galaxy kind of touch on that. My name, the name Pakambrabai, did not come out of the mouth of an individual. The name comes out of the mouth of a fish. Okay? So there's a lot more into the transition. I went through a process of the rebirth through a water, the clearness of a water. And a fish gave a messenger the name, that took the name and said, this is your name. So if you believe in the ancestral spirit through the dimension of Africanness, you'll understand that the name is much more deeper. A lot of people are saying to me, I'll say this to you, a lot of people are saying to me, I used to hug a lot. All my sisters, I see them and I hug them. I've stopped that. I am not allowed to hug as I used to. There are places that I'm not allowed to go. So it kind of really, it refines me. I am in a refinement mood at the moment. And people who understand what being a chief is all about, they see you and they won't touch you because they know you're not supposed to be touched unless I actually embrace you to touch me. Other than that, you don't supposed to touch me. I keep you away from me. So I don't do all of the touching I used to do. Not because I used to do it yesterday, I'm supposed to do it today. It's because of the transition that I'm going through. I'm not allowed to do all of that. And going to certain places, I'm not allowed to take on negative entity that will end me a lot. From go through a certain... As I was saying to you a few strong ago, that happened to me where one of my ancestors came to see me.
Yeah, you tell me.
She didn't come to hurt me. But it wasn't... I've got negative and positive. But it wasn't one of those who were with me. She came to frighten me. Something happened during this transition of my life where she came to frighten me. She came to look at me. And she came, and when she looked at me, I chased her. I said, get out of my house. Just like when I'm speaking to you now, that's exactly how I'm speaking to this person, away from the person having a face. The person never have no face, and she never have no feet. And she just glide away from me, and I run her after her, and I said, get out of my house. I said, get out. Now, if she did come in good faith, she wouldn't have tried to frighten me. I think she was more frightened than I, because when I opened my eyes and looked at her, she pulled away from me. She was actually hanging over me, looking down on me. And when I opened my eyes and looked at her, then she pulled away. It's as if I frightened her. You see, so we go through certain transition that we don't know until certain things happen. And it take you back to say, this is why that happened, or this is why that happened. So I'm going through that at the moment. My
Chief,
brother, thank you.
Chief, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And
I embrace it past my bedtime.
And I want to do it again, and I think I might just do it in your show. We're not so tired.
You won't do it in my show, won't I love you?
Well,
You will take away my show. So I want to do it in your show. Listen. Thank you very much, all right?
Chief, listen, it's been a pleasure, and it's an honor that you know, when I came back to Galaxy, and I remember the first show that I did, first official show I did, I felt free.
That's the freedom of Galaxy, my brother.
No, I felt free. I felt like I never had nothing. As much as when I was on the rock, it was good while it lasted, and Mikey did everything to accommodate me and everything. He was getting a lot of fight from other members on the station. They didn't want the show. You know, I felt I could say what I want, but there was a slight restriction. I don't have none here.
That's good.
And
that's
I say,
good.
but that's it, Pa.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks.
So, that's it, people. It's that time now, and the chief I forgot I'm yard.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the chief I forgot I'm yard.
And you got to go to your yard.
And me I forgot mine.
Oh, what a journey.
Yeah. And so I'm just gonna say, may the ancestors watch over all of us who's watching this station, on the Facebook, wherever you are in the world as Africans. We have to find a way to work together. Rebel says, large up, chief. Yeah. And may the ancestors watch over, chief.
Thank you.
Bless and guide you.
Thank you.
In your journey as a chief. See? And may Galaxy rise like a phoenix out of the ashes.
Oh, yes.
So we give thanks and praise unto the ancestors. We say, Modubafu to our ancestors. And as I would say from our ancient comedians, Itepe Neke Jea Senebe. Divine peace, long life, stability, and good health. Otep.
Okay. Give thanks, family.
Because we have much. We give because we.
Chief, love this tune. Face the book, that's it. Yeah? Otep face the book. Until the next time. Great Sugar Miner. So, Chief, a skagger,